a private Facebook group just for the Squadup Summit. So people that are, coordinating with each other, they're planning on hanging out with each other at the Squadup Summit. They are shacking up with each other. There's a lot of people that are sharing hotel rooms, all that kind of stuff. So um, today I have something really special. So non-students, make sure that you go and get your Squadup Summit tickets. It gets you into the Facebook group. For the students who buy Squadup Summit tickets, if you're a Subto student, Gator, or top tier TC, here's something really special that I'm doing. I decided I am going to travel a lot less this year. And by the way, good morning on YouTube. Good morning on here on Zoom. We're just going to do a couple hours of Q&A, whatever questions people have. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. And we'll jump into that here in just a couple of minutes. What I decided to do this year was to travel a lot less. Last year, I spoke on 110 stages. I went to 110 meetups. So every time I traveled to speak on stage, I would also do a community meetup. And 110, the amount of people I met in person was a little over 7,000 people in person. I took over 7,000 photos with people, met people in person. It was great. It was one of the best ways I could, connect with our community. And I, this year, decided I'm not going to do it as much. And a couple of reasons. I now have a fourth baby. When you have a fourth child, things change, my friends. They change dramatically. Having one kid, two kids, it's pretty easy. Mom and dad can help out, all that kind of stuff. Now we've got three littles underneath 5 years old, and it's just a different game, right? So what we decided to do is have me, travel a lot less. Now, if I'm traveling a lot less, that means I'm not connecting with my community as much as I normally do. And so this year I came up with a really fun way for me to still stay very connected with my community, the action takers in Subto, Gator, and top tier TC. So how am I doing that? Well, anybody that is in my community that buys a ticket to Squadup Summit between now and the next couple of weeks, you will be entered into something we're calling a day with pace. And today, I actually have 7 names. The first 7 names that won this are right here. I want to name them before we get into Q&A. The day with pace, what does that mean? I have carved out 52 weeks, okay? 52 weeks over the next year where I am going to be giving up an entire day of my week to these 6 to 8 people per week, okay? So if you win this, you'll get to choose what day you come in. Now, some of these days I carved out, I'm going to be in Montana. So you'll come and hang out with me in Montana. You'll visit my RV parks. You'll visit properties with me. We'll go shoot guns. We'll be on the lake with Jerry Norton, all sorts of stuff, right? And it will give me the ability to do just connect with people. I'm a people person. I love being around my community. And while I'm not traveling as much this year, I will speak on probably 2 to 3 stages a month. Last year, I spoke on 8 to 10 stages a month. This year, I'm just speaking on bigger stages, but a lot less. And so I will still be traveling. I'm going to be in Utah next week. I'll be in Southern California next week. And if you guys ever want to go to one of those meetups, make sure you go to whereispace.com. It will tell you where I'm speaking, what I'm doing, where my meetups are that I'm going to be hanging out with our community, all of that kind of stuff. So now I look at that and I go, well, that's kind of sad for me because I love connecting and doing deals with my community. And I love meeting with people in person that are in the community. And sometimes I meet with people that are like, I'm stuck and they need some physical proximity to a problem solver as myself. And in 45 minutes, I can solve all their problems, especially when we're in person. And so what's really cool is the people on this list today, they're all doing deals. This is what's fun, is that all 7 of these people are doing deals. None of them are stuck, at least in the I've never done a deal phase, which actually I kind of feel like I should have at least 1 or 2 people that are like, I'm stuck, I have not done a deal yet, that come and join. So maybe I have Sangeetha add a bonus person, like at number 8. But these people are all doing deals. And I get to spend a day with them. And I have 7 names that we pulled from that list today. So again, how do I win that list? The way I win that bonus is go to squadupsummit.com. I'll actually go over there real quick for you guys. And because some people are really visual, they'll say, wait, what is the link? Here's the link, guys. I'll go there myself. Okay. Squadupsummit.com. Go over there, get a ticket. And what will happen is when you get into the Squadup Summit, and you get your ticket, you'll get instructions on how to join the Facebook group. Now, if you're in the Facebook group, all right, you will have access to connecting with students, Subto, Gator, top tier TC, all over the country. And it'll be a much smaller, more intimate group. Let's see, join. I don't know why it's doing that. That's so funny how that works out. Is my internet slow? Is it the website? I don't know what it is, but interesting. I wonder why it's that. Hey, Carly, do you know why Squadup Summit? I wonder if it's like a bunch of people are going over there right now, that it's like hard to get over there. Anyway, go to squadupsummit.com, get a ticket. You'll get into a Facebook group. If you are one of the students, okay, you will be entered into a day. Christy says, is there another way to enter into that besides Squad Up? Absolutely not. Christy Frazier, let's have a conversation. Can I get another clean copy of the calculator? Nancy says. Carly, can you drop that in the side chat for everybody, please? Thank you so much. Christy, let's have a conversation. Some people won't be able to go to Squad Up Summit because of the date. Some people won't be able to go there because they can't afford it, because there's a ticket involved and there's some travel expenses, all that kind of stuff, which I understand. And so people are like, I want to spend a day with you. Well, it's a bonus for me, right? I'm doing it as a bonus. It would be kind of funny for me to like change up the whole bonus structure. Christy, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What do you, why can't you go to Squad Up Summit?
So I'm a marketing manager and I have 2 trade shows going on that I have to set up booths and I have to be there.
Okay, Christy, what community are you in?
Um, I'm not, I'm just in your like meetup, or not your meetup, but your
My free Facebook group.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this bonus is for students only. So Subto, Gator, and top tier TC. So you'd have to be a student and have a ticket to Squad Up Summit in order to get entered into that.
Okay, so like since I'm a baby elephant, can I start taking those classes and become students, or how do I become a student? Like like where do I start?
Good question. Carly, can you drop some links in the side chat for people if they want to become a student? Now, Christy, where do you live?
Phoenix.
Oh, you live in Phoenix?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Here's something that's kind of fun. So my community does meetups all over the country. We do about 150 meetups per month all over the country. Now, I'm not at obviously all of those. I'm at maybe 2 or 3, 4 of them per month, depending on where I'm located. But you're in Phoenix, and
Yeah.
we are doing our meetups on Thursday nights. And the people who come and hang out with me, and they do that day with pace. So imagine my students, Gators, top tier TC, and Subto, they buy a Squad Up Summit ticket. Now I hang out with my students all the time, but like this is different. This is like, hey, come fly in, hang out with me all day long. At the end of the day, we're going to be doing these. Most of them will be done on Thursdays, which is when our Phoenix meetup is. It's for Thursday afternoon, like late afternoon, and it goes on for about 3 hours. And that allows we allow non-students to come in there to connect with the actual students that are doing deals. In fact, the meetup that we do kind of changes up every single month, where sometimes the meetup is us actually taking action and calling sellers or calling agents. Sometimes it's us working through fake transactions, kind of like mock transactions, so you can see how all that stuff works. And it's just a free way for you to come in and meet with my actual trained students that have gone through training for 2 or 3 years. Most of you'll realize like I don't have a course, I don't have a mentorship. I have obviously training, but really what I have is a community. And this is why we spend so much time together, because I don't think anybody can learn how to do anything, including real estate, if you're trying to do it on your own, right? Like no amount of recordings, no amount of books, no amount of whatever will get 100% of people over the holdback of I'm not taking any action. I'm a really good example of that. I tried to get into real estate for 7 years. I really didn't try to get into real estate. I just consumed for 7 years I was a contractor. And it wasn't until a physical human being named Bethany actually showed me how to do it that I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I had you 7 years ago. Right. And so for me, I built a community, not a mentorship. I hate mentorships. I mean, I joined my own mentorships. Like I go join and I spend money. I've got one for communication. I've got one for business networking. I'm going to be there in Temecula in 2 weeks. It's $100,000 a year. That is for me to network with really, really high level people. So I spend money to go and open up doors for myself, of course. But for me, I didn't want to build a mentorship or a course. I wanted to build a community of people that are helping people. So, Christy, if you ever want to spend a day with me, um, the best thing to do is be in my community. I just won't, I won't spend time with non-community members, and I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. The only questions that a non-community member asks me is like, what's the difference between subject to and seller finance? What's the this? And I'm like, all of those questions are on my YouTube channel. And I'll give you, if you don't mind, a couple of minutes.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll give you a really good story. So I used to do this all the time, right? Before I built my community, I would drive around, take people on ride-alongs. I'm the guy that I had to learn from a human being. So I love teaching by being in person with people. And so for 3, 4 years, that's what I did. I would do meetups on Fridays at my office. I would have taco truck come in. This is before I built a community. This is 2016 through 2020. Okay. And I would take people in my Prius and we'd drive around town. I'd take them on appointments. I'd take them whatever, like 3, 4 people every single Saturday. I would take them around and people would just win. These were my non-community members because I didn't have a community at the time. What I found was people pay attention to what they pay for, sadly. And so I had a coach come to me that I had hired, and he goes, the problem is you don't have a filtering fee of who's serious, who's committed, who's not. You're just giving all this stuff away to people who are not even committed. They're just, consumers. And so I said, all right, I'm going to build a community. I built a community, and nationwide, we started building this amazing thing. And if you look and if you ever talk to a single one of my community members, they'll go, this is the greatest thing I've ever been a part of in my entire life, because it's not a mentorship and it's not a course. Now, do I mentor and do I do all these Zooms for them on a weekly basis? Yes. We have 39 Zooms a week. Why? Well, we have 39 Zooms a week because everybody's schedule is different. So I make sure that there's support, live support, 14 hours a day. If you have a night job and you can only consume and be part of live Zooms and work with people in the mornings, then we have Zooms in the mornings, and vice versa for nights. And then we have Saturdays and we do all sorts of things. So all of that is amazing. But still, the physical proximity was always really important to me. And so even after I joined I started my community, I would still help people that were coming from my YouTube channel, like, hey, I need help. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll spend a day with you. And after like 2 years of doing that and still helping people that are not in my community, literally every question that they've ever asked me is the same exact question that you could find on my YouTube channel. So it's like, you know what, if you're not in my community and you don't have problems outside of what my YouTube channel can solve, which there's 2,500 videos there, then I really can't spend the time there. I've already done that. I've already laid down the foundation to like change people's lives on YouTube for free, and my book and all that kind of stuff. So now you'll see a lot of the people in my community, they have different problems, right? Like all 7 of these people that I'm going to name their name right now, these people are all doing deals. A couple of them are making over $500,000 a year in what we teach. Their problems are significantly different than the problems of the people that are baby elephants, right? Like, I need my first deal. Cool. They're saying, Pace, I have a big problem. I don't know how to hire my first person to start offloading all of what I'm doing. I need to scale my business. And that's the stuff that I get excited about, solving in person with people. And so I made a hard line in 2022, January 1st of 2022. I said, I'm not spending any more time with non-community members unless it's at a free meetup. So go to the free meetups. You'll see me there on the Thursday ones. Pace, how can I get to your meetups? How can I find out where Pace is going to be? Christy, go to whereispace.com. I spent like $50,000 building out this little system to make sure you knew where I would be. And you're always invited to go to a meetup as long as I'm there. A lot of my community members will do private meetups where it's Gator, Subto, and top tier TC only. Some meetups they'll bring in some outside people, but for the most part, it's kind of an exclusive group. So go to whereispace.com and you can see
I've
where.
actually done that. And
Okay, cool.
I'm starting to sign up for some of your stuff. How do I get involved with your community though? Like, how is that? Is that a sign up thing? Is that a member thing, or?
Yeah, so you got to you look at Alex Keen. She's
Oh,
on
okay.
my team. You see the links in the side chat.
Okay, those are all okay, got it.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
there's 3 parts to my community. It's all, if you kind of look at it like a creative university, you have the wing of the university. It's the largest wing of the university is the people that are finding deals, buying deals, wholesaling deals. That's called Subto, right? That's my community that finds the deals. I have another portion of my community, or the wing of my university, called Gator. And what does Gator do? Gator funds the deals for Subto students. So Subto students are out there finding deals. Gators are out there funding those deals. And then top tier TC are the women primarily. It's like 90% women that are like, I want to do all the paperwork for you guys. I want to run the back end. I want to help manage your portfolios. I want to help be the second in command in your business. And so you kind of have to make a determination of where you want to go. We're all in the same creative university. We're all one big community. It's just like if you went to Penn State or ASU, like you're in the art department or the business department or the finance department or whatever. Same university, same community, just different wings of the same college, if that makes sense.
For sure. Definitely it does.
Cool. And again, whereispace.com. I try and update it every week, or somebody on my team tries to update it every week. I don't think it's been updated this last week. I do have multiple Thursday meetups coming up in Arizona, so you'll be able to come and hang out with other students and come vibe with us and hang out.
That's awesome. I can't wait. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Your life will be changed just going to a free meetup. What part of the valley are you in?
The Northwest Valley over by ASU West.
Oh, cool. Very, very cool. All right. Well, I'm East Valley. I'm over here in Mesa, but our headquarters, we have a big office right there on Tempe Town Lake, just north of it. Actually, we're not on Tempe Town Lake. We're just north of it. And our meetup used to be held in there, but our meetup kind of outgrew that building. So now we do a meetup in Scottsdale area. So not too far from you.
No, not at all. That's so cool. Thank you. And I started following you because of Tony Robbins.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. Speaking on his stage, that was a lot of fun. And Dean and that whole thing was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So awesome.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Appreciate you, Christy. So hopefully that answers questions for other people on how to get involved in that kind of stuff. But if you are a community member, then what I would do is get your Squadup Summit ticket, and I get in there, get into the Facebook group, and then there's a form like, hey, I do want to spend a day with Pace. Here's why we're doing the form. It's amazing how much time I have to spend to like explain all this stuff, but it's important, obviously. So I'm gonna name the 7 names, by the way. I hope they're in here. They probably aren't. It's Saturday morning. I know all 7 of these people, and they are doing deals. And so, hey, Rachel Schwartz, she says, last time posting for this event, Colorado does 2 meetups each month. There you go. Rachel's awesome. She's in Colorado Springs, and then Angie and Dom Milanazzo are in Denver. So they do 2 meetups a month. Okay, so why do I need you to buy a ticket? Okay, well, I want to hang out with people that are action takers. I also look at the Squadup Summit as more of a community reunion once a year, getting everybody together and all in one place. And we all understand that being around each other is very different than just being on Zoom. I don't know about you. How many people are like, I just need to be in person? Like, I need to meet the people. I need to be able to talk to somebody and ask them a question directly. Like, these are great. Like doing the elephant challenge is really great. It's a good warm up and show you what's possible. But at the end of the day, you need to be around physical people. We are a herd. We have herd mentality. We need to be around people. We are a pack animal. Humans, believe it or not, are a pack animal. And so we are not meant to be alone. We are meant to have a squad or a community. And so Squadup Summit is an in-person event that we will be doing once a year. This year it's in Orlando. It will be somewhere between 2,500 to 3,000 people there. I'd say 1,500 Subto students, maybe 500 to 600 Gators, 200 or 300 top tier transaction coordinators, and then we'll have probably 800 or so non-community members that are like, I need to meet those people. I need to meet the people that are making $500,000 or $1 million or $2 million a year. I need to meet the people that have a portfolio of 50. I need to meet the people that have a portfolio of 400 houses. I need to meet the people that are lending money. I need to meet them. I need them to see my face. I need them to see that I'm committed. I need them to see that I'm serious. And all of those things can be done in person. It's really hard to do that in Zoom. Even though I keep the open chat, it's really hard to do that in Zoom, right? And thank you guys. 600 people came in, hung out with me on a bonus day, right? We've had 2,000-3,000 people show up every day to the Elephant Challenge, but always on Saturday, it's a bonus Q&A, and people are chilling on Saturdays, right? Here I am, guys. We showed you yesterday, I got 2,000 rentals. I got 9 businesses, hundreds of employees. I don't need to work on Saturdays and Sundays. I don't need to work at all. But I'm in here because I'm dedicated to your guys' success. I had multiple people DM me yesterday saying, thank you so much for the Elephant Challenge. And I'm like, guys, you know why I do all this stuff? Is because I have a good memory. I remember what it was like when I didn't have the help. I remember what it was like when I didn't have a community. I remember what it was like when I couldn't get on the phone with somebody. I remember all of those things, okay? And so because I remember it and I remember the feeling of anxiety and I need to change my life and my wife is pregnant and I got more bills coming and inflation is coming up and I need to figure out how to generate more money. My parents couldn't do it. My church couldn't do it. The school I went to couldn't do it. My job I was at couldn't do it. None of those things could do it. I needed to find a different place to make money. And so that's why we do this free challenge for you guys. Okay. And when you guys go do other challenges with other people, I've been in a lot of other people's challenges as a guest speaker. They're pitching you a $25,000, $35,000 product at the end, and they're trying to get the emotions all high. The funny thing is they get more attendance because they're playing your emotional heartstrings to get you to show up. I'm just in here giving you guys free value. This is why we only get 600 people on a Saturday showing up. Okay. So, again, Squadup Summit. Get your Squadup Summit tickets. I'm going to tell you the names of these 7 people, but I want you to understand how you get to be the names tomorrow. So inside of the community, Top Tier, Gator, and Subto, every day for the next 50 days, I'm going to announce 6 to 8 new people. Now, why would it be 6? Why would it be 8? Because sometimes I'll name 6 people and 2 couples are married, right? And that's going to be 8 people. All right. So here's what I'm going to be doing. Squadup Summit ticket holders, you'll get access to a private Facebook group for everybody that's going to Squadup Summit. So you guys can link in with each other, communicate 2-3 months in advance. Like, hey, I'm excited. What's your game plan? What are you trying to accomplish at the summit? Let's communicate. What'll be fun is all these people you become friends with in the Squadup Summit Facebook group. You'll be able to meet each other all in person in April in Orlando. It will be life-changing. When you go in there, you need to fill out the form so that you could submit to get into a day with Pace. All right. Now, I will be naming about 400 or so people over the next 50 days. I hope you are one of those 400 people. Where am I going to announce those 400 people? Well, 1, in the Squadup Summit Facebook group, 2, in Subto, Gator, and Top Tier TC Facebook groups as well. Okay. So here's the bonus. The bonus is everybody that's a Squadup Summit ticket holder in my community, fill out the form. Why should I have to fill out the form, Pace? Because I don't know if you want to spend a day with me. Some people are like, dude, I don't want to travel. I don't want to go to Arizona. There's cacti there. I don't want to go to Montana. There's freaking Bigfoot lives there. I don't know if you want to spend a day with me. Now, the reality is I get people that offer to pay me $25,000 or $50,000 to spend a day with me. And my answer is always no. I've always turned that down. I've thought about saying yes to it and then donating the money to charity, but I just don't want to do that. I don't think that there's long-lasting effects of it. So I turn that down frequently. I have been doing that for years. And so what I'd rather do is just hang out with my community and do it for free and do it in a way where we get 6 to 8 people all come together. We spend 12, 14 hours together. We go really hard. So if you're going to come spend a day with me, it's going to be at least 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. Do not come and think you're spending 3-4 hours with me. It's going to be a 12-hour situation. Okay. So people who have already bought their tickets for Squadup Summit and gone into the Facebook group have filled out the form. I've got the first 7 names. Okay. You guys ready for the 7 names? Angie Milanazzo, she says, I bought mine the first day. Rachel Schwartz, whoever doesn't want to hang out with you is a huge enough. Well, thank you, Patty. I do appreciate that. Okay, here we go. Name number 1. I doubt these people are in here. They're doing, a lot of them are doing a lot of deals and really busy in their businesses. And they are also not elephant leaders. Like Angie and Dom are also busy with their businesses. Rachel Schwartz is also busy with their business. A lot of my leaders are busy with their businesses, but they also want to be elephant leaders. So shout out to them for coming in and hang out with them. Okay. Number 1, Jessica Wilkinson. Number 1, Jessica Wilkinson. Number 2, Celeste Samante. Number 3, Colleen Haggerty. Number 4, Jennifer Antiel. Number 5 and 6 is Howard and Victoria Steinberg, married couple. So that's freaking cool. And then Chemo Quants. Okay. Chemo Quants, Kimo. Love these people. I know all 7 of them. How many of you guys are friends with any of one of those 7? Give me a me in the side chat. How many of you are friends with any one of those 7? They're doing deals. Actually, a couple of them are making over $500,000 a year in their wholesale fix and flip or buy and hold business. There you go. Ryan says, I work with Jen. Well, give her a congratulations. She probably is not on here. Give her a congratulations. Okay. All right. So I will be making a post in Subto, Top Tier, Gator, and in the Squadup Summit Facebook group this morning to congratulate those people. So let's jump into some Q&A and let's have some fun. Anybody that has a question, please raise your hand and we'll do a little bit of Q&A and hang out for the next hour and 40 minutes or so. All right. William Hetland. What's up, William? How you doing, brother?
Hey, Pace, how's it going?
I'm loving life, man. What do you got for me?
Hey, so yeah, I was pulled up a list of, on market properties and I feel like I found a deal. The one of the problems I think is that they have a solar lien on it, or not a lien,
Okay.
but a lease. And I asked them how much they owed. They said they owed about 40 grand on it. And it's right here in Sun City.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, it's listed, even the price it's listed at is, looks like a deal. And I compared it to um, what Keegley has been wrapping up Sun City properties for. They're probably at like 70%.
Okay.
And so this one, as it is already like probably 60 of ARV. So I'm just wondering how that solar thing comes into play.
Okay. Good question. All right. Just so you know, I won't buy a Sun City property and I'll
Yeah.
tell you why. Are you an Arizona boy?
Yep. I'm in surprise, but I just
Okay.
moved here. So
Why do we not like Sun City for an investment property?
it, it only attracts older buyers.
Yes, it only attracts older buyers. Those older buyers are out of our market for about 7 months out of the year, right?
Yeah.
So 7 months out of the year, they're snowbirding, they're somewhere else. And so that market almost dies completely. So right now, if you buy that property, let's say you renovate it to go put it back on the market, by the time you're done renovating it, there's no buyers hanging around, right? Now, that's a big problem. I used to do a lot of Sun City West because there's always deals I can find in Sun City
Yeah.
West. One of the bigger problems with Sun City West is that there is an HOA transfer fee of like $6,000 to $9,000. Okay. So, for example, let's say that you wholesaled that deal to me. Guess what? You, as the wholesaler, would not have to pay that HOA transfer fee. Literally, it's $6,000 to $9,000 HOA transfer fee. It's insane. Like it's
Mhm.
absolutely. This is all of Sun City, by the way. So why is that? Because Sun City is a master plan community from 80 years ago. And they said, we're going to have the coolest community for old people that are running around, making out with each other. It's basic. I mean, I'm sure they're all making out. Cruising around on their little golf carts, and we're gonna have really cool little community centers and pickleball things and this, that, and the other. And all of that HOA transfer fee pays for that fee. Okay.
Mhm.
And so that's why they charge so much. And now I buy the deal from you. Okay, William, I buy it, you make $20,000. Great. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Then I fix it and then I go and flip it. And guess what happens again is the next buyer has to pay that HOA transfer fee, even if it's in, the same month, even if it's in the same week, that HOA transfer fee is a requirement. You'll never work your way out of it. And so these 60%, 70% HOA transfer fee, I'm sorry, these ARV deals, they're tough for investors right now. If you bought this deal in August, it's like, okay, cool. I can fix it. September, October, November, it's on the market. Now all the buyers are in town. They're cruising around looking for properties. And now I've caught the wave. What you're going to run into in Sun City is you've missed the wave. And by the time this property hits the market for a fix and flipper, let's say, and by the way, most people are not trying to hold properties as rentals in Sun City West because that demographic is not necessarily looking to rent. That
Yep.
demographic is looking to buy, right? That's like their 6 month out of the year home. They're not looking to rent for 6 months, be gone for 6 months, come back and rent another for 6 months. They want to own the property.
Yeah.
And so most of the exit strategies in Sun City West are not buy and hold. There's no Airbnbs. There's no like VRBOs. There's really very rarely mid-term rentals up there.
Yeah.
So it's a fix and flip. And if you're going to fix it and then flip it, it's going to take you 3 months to put it back on the market and you're going to miss your wave. So my suggestion for you first, before I even get to the solar question, My first answer to you is avoid buying this at 60% of ARV. I would submit an offer probably closer to 50% of ARV. Now,
Mm-hmm.
here's another thing I want to teach you about Keegly, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't own Keegly. My best friend does. And so I can be critical of Keegly, and my friend is going to be okay with it, I'm sure. I love Keegly. They have sold hundreds of deals for me. But I'm going to tell you, William, just because you see a deal on their website doesn't mean that deal is a deal. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that 60 to 70% of the deals on Keegly's website end up not selling at the price or even near the price that you see on their website. And so I would look at those and go, oh, okay, they're offering this at this price. What I would do, William, is I would get into the at some point in my career, probably a good idea now, I would get in the habit of looking at a deal that I see on, let's say, Keegly's website. All right. I would put it in an Excel spreadsheet called my curious spreadsheet. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious what that will actually sell for. Right. Like, you see something on Keegly's website. Like, let's go. I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about for people that, are like, I just want to get a deal right now. I'll show you let's show you how to get a
Yeah,
deal
I
right
mean, I did pull up like what it did actually ended up selling for, so I went and like a month or two behind
now.
of
Okay.
what
And
they're
did you
posting,
see,
pulled up who bought it.
was it a end buyer or was it a fix and flipper?
He was an end buyer. He only had
Okay,
one
cool.
I get it was he had one personal property, and then this one was his first, I guess, flip that he was buying. So I was
Okay,
thinking
got it.
about just calling this guy and saying, "Hey, you looking for another one in Sun City?"
Oh, so bro, you got it figured out. You got
Yeah.
it figured out. That's what you got to do. You got to call that guy. And this is where the best comping tool is your phone. And what do I mean by that? Your best comping tool, everybody should be writing this down. Your best comping tool is picking up your phone and seeing somebody that has already bought. Privy is really good for this. This is why we tell people to go to Privy, is you can just call the fix and flipper that flipped a house and go, hey, I'm looking at this house on such and such address. I want to lock it up and bring it to you. One, are you actively buying? The answer should always be yes. They're always going to say yes.
Yep.
Um, Two, if I do lock this up, what do you need from me to know what to give me a price? William, my first 100 deals in my first year, I never comped a property one time. I literally did not comp a property. 100
Wow.
deals. It's not even that impressive. Do you want to know what I
Hmm.
did?
You just called the buyers.
I called the buyers and I said, what would you pay for this? Now, did I leave money on the table? Yeah, probably. But I also was like, I was just locking up deals and I had the number before I went into the property, knowing where I needed to be. So the first person that was actually buying the majority of my deals was actually Jamil from Keegly. This was before Keegly had their website. And I would just text Jamil, hey, do you have a buyer for this? You go, yep, I have a buyer. They would pay 200. I'll take 7. That means you got to buy it at 193 for all of us, or for me to make money. And then
Hmm.
whatever you can get it underneath 193 is all yours. And so I would get that buy number knowing my top of the top is 193. So if a seller says, well, I have an offer at 210, I'd be like, oh, crap. I already know I'm not going to be able to get there, right? I won't
Hmm.
lock up that contract. And then my mechanism in that appointment would be, okay, well, if that buyer doesn't end up performing, please call me because I'll give you $10,000 earnest money, no inspection period.
Hmm.
I can't cancel. You take my $10,000. I would scorch the earth,
Hmm.
and that was always my backup method. But my first upfront method was building credibility and going to the appointment and talking to the seller directly and being a human and saying, hey, that 210 offer you have, I'm going to tell you the likelihood of it falling apart is really high, but at least let me look at the contract. And they would let me see the contract before they signed it. And I'm like, they have $10 earnest money. They're obviously going to wholesale this. You probably, oh, what's wholesale? Oh, Barbara, you don't know what wholesale is? Let me explain wholesale to you. And
Hmm.
I would completely demolish the other offers by saying, I'm not a wholesaler. Now, what was I doing? I was also wholesaling. I just
Hmm.
was double closing in those situations, and I would win the bid and I would go, okay, I got to be at 180, Barbara. And I would go 180, wholesale it to Jamil at 193. Him and I would close at 180, wholesale it to Jamil at 193. I'd make, $10,000 on the deal because I'd have double close costs. And then Jamil would go and make his $7,000. So I never comped. I literally was like, I'm not going
Hmm.
to waste my time comping. Why? I'll tell you why. Because I think a lot of you guys think that when I jumped into this business, you thought I just jumped into this business full time. I was running a 250 person construction company doing renovations for like 15 different clients all over the valley. I had 50, 60 projects going on at all times. And I did 100 deals my first year in the business. So how was that possible? Well, because I realized what I didn't want to waste my time on was worrying about finding buyers for these deals. I also did not want to, yeah, Michael's like, dang, guys, like literally I have no empathy for people that are like, I'm busy. No, you're not. You're not structured and you're lazy.
Yep.
I'm not lazy. I'm gone 14 hours a day out of the house. I'm going out and making things happen. I'm improving my life. So for you, William, let's go to the solar thing.
Yep.
Solar makes things way more complicated, especially a lease.
Yeah.
Okay. Like they don't own it. And so what happens is now the next person has to qualify for the lease. Guys, let's be real. Okay. Let's be real. Solar is a scam. It is not powerful enough to actually make any sense for anybody. It's basically just putting a big hunk of junk on your property. It is a scam. And the people that are out there knocking doors for solar, you guys are scam artists. Okay. You're
Yep.
selling freaking solar to people that they have a 25-year payment on, that by the time the 25-year payment is over, the freaking technology, wait 10
Broke.
years.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait 10 years till the year 2035 and maybe solar technology will be worth it. It's not worth it. Okay. And people are like, well, I'm saving the environment. No, you're not. What it takes to produce those things is far more toxic for the environment than any power you'll save from the little trickle effect that you'll get. Okay. Yeah. Vlad says pace. They make a lot of money doing it. I know. I get that. I'm just letting you guys know it's a scam. Don't get
Yep.
it. Everybody in the solar industry, y'all are out there scamming people, knocking doors and scamming people. Okay. And as long as we understand that, then perfect. Okay. But the challenge is your buyer doesn't want it. And so what you're doing is you're buying a deal at the wrong time of the year. All right. This is why it's important, I think, to start in your backyard, is for you to drive around and see what the heck is going on. And William, you're doing a great job going back and looking at public record and saying, oh, that's the buyer.
Yeah.
So I would call that buyer and go, hey, I'm looking at a deal. Now that raises another question. The next question is, all these, I'll tell you, people that are they don't have traction and momentum in this business. They have a very small mind. And the small mind says, well, what happens if this buyer goes around me? Okay. How many people have that worry? It's okay to admit that you have that worry. How many people are like, well, what happens if the buyer goes around me? Okay, Joe. When somebody says, I'm worried about that happening, here's what I can tell you about that person. You've actually never done a deal. And you've never actually started communicating with your buyers. Because what you'll realize is that fix and flippers and buy and holders do not actually go out and find their own deals. That's a mind-blowing fact for a lot of people. They're like, wait, hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me fix and flippers are not finding their own deals? Not really. Fix and flippers are busy buying a deal from a wholesaler, buying a deal from an agent, and then they're busy actually renovating and dealing with contractors. Okay. Jackie, raise your hand. I'd love to answer your question. So, William, if I were you, I would do what I did, where in my first year, I'm going to break a lot of people's brains here for a second. And I'm going to tell you, you can do a light comp of like, okay, yeah, the seller's not crazy, or hey, this kind of looks like a deal before you call your buyer. But the first thing I would do today, William, is call the buyer today, the one that you're talking about, and say, what would you pay for this thing?
Okay.
That's 100% of the first 100 deals I did. And it's not literally 100 deals. It might be 125 or 135 deals I did where I didn't even look up a comp.
Mm-hmm.
I literally was like, okay, I got a lead. Seller wants to sell. I'm going on the appointment. As I'm driving to the appointment, I'm texting and driving. Yes, human beings do that. No, we shouldn't be doing it, but yes, I did it. And I would text on the way. How about this for the people that are very safety conscious? I'll lie to you. I texted while I was at the red light. Okay. Do you feel more comfortable now that I lied to you? So I would text and I would text Jamil. And then I got a little bit more savvy, William, in the industry. And I found that Jamil wasn't the only Jamil in town. Okay. And what did Jamil do? Jamil literally just sat there on his cell phone all day long and just texted 50 of me. Yeah. Right. He had 50 guys out there going and sending out direct mail, cold calling, door knocking, foreclosures, probate attorneys. We were out there acquiring the deals, and Jamil would just sit there interfacing with his buyer saying, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Right. He's basically Amazon, and I would bring the product to Amazon, and then Amazon would go sell it and make their fee. And then I realized, oh man, I could do a couple of things. One, there's another store beyond Amazon. Like there's other people I could go to besides Amazon. And I found another Jamil. Okay. A couple of guys I used here locally. There was a guy named Derek that I used a lot, started texting him. Another guy named John. That guy, John, ended up stealing $1 million from me, but that's another story for another day.
Yep.
But different business, not from the wholesale side of things. John would wholesale deals. Sometimes Jamil couldn't. And Jamil sometimes could wholesale deals that John couldn't. And I was like, oh, sweet. I got 3 people that can sell my deals. And then I got in a habit of just texting all 3 of those people and saying, I'm going on an appointment. You are one of 3 people I'm texting. I would love to get what you would buy this deal at before I get to the appointment so I can negotiate with the homeowner, Tom Smith, right? Then as I got more comfortable in the business and I decided I need to get my margins up a little bit, I then started doing what you're doing, which is I just started calling the buyers who were buying all of my deals and saying, hey, you know that deal you bought a year ago on 123 Main Street? You actually bought it from Keegley. I was the person that found the deal. I'd love to build a relationship with you directly. And I started doing that. And then I started building up my buyers list. Do you know how big your buyers list has to be in order for you to make $500,000 a year?
5 to 10.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think people that have a big buyers list and they brag about how big their buyers list are just trying to sell you something. Like my buyers, we go play golf, we go hang out, we go have lunch, all of that kind of stuff. I don't need more than that many buyers, right? There you go. So Nancy's like, yeah. So in our case, go to Privy in the area we're looking. Yeah. So day 1 of the Elephant Challenge, if you remember, we showed you guys who the buyers were on these deals. It's like, oh yeah, I see exactly what they did. I see their before and after photos, the quality of craftsmanship they put in. And so for me, William, what I started doing is I would call these buyers. We didn't have Privy back then. This is literally 8-9 years ago. Like we didn't have a lot of the software that we have today. So I'm hobbling around. This stuff did not really exist. And so what I would do is just use public record. So still to this day, I still prefer to use public record because it's habit for me. And I'll go, who bought this property? I look back. Oh, they bought it. Here's the record. Call them up. Hey, my name's Pace. I find a lot of deals. I'd like to add you to my buyers list, but I really don't have a buyers list. I want to add you to a relationship list is what I started telling people. And they're like, oh, that's cool. I really like that. That's very different than the other wholesalers that call me. I go, can I stop by and like see your projects and see what you're looking for and like understand your business model so I can bring you product? And that's how I built a buyers list. I'm not the guy that wants, I hear people go, build your buyers list and have all these systems and processes. That's not me. That's not me. First and foremost, I'm going to tell you guys something that some people don't want to hear. Wholesaling is not a forever business. Okay. Wholesale is not a forever business. Write that down. What do I mean by that? You should wholesale for a year, 2 years, 3 years. Amelia says, why not? What a great question, Amelia. Here's why wholesaling is not a forever business. Do you want to be out there grinding and cold calling and doing all this stuff and negotiating with sellers and agents over and over and over and over and over?
No.
Well, here's what people are going to say. They're going to say, well, you can hire acquisition people. Okay. I'm going to tell you guys the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Okay. The hardest thing I've ever had to do in business is have an acquisition team with American acquisition people. Why? Because they all want to be you. You're not training them to work for you. You're training them to steal from you and go build their own business. It is a constant revolving door. And so in order for you to get consistent people, you have to get people that are actually not that good, that can't go out on their own. So that's the type of people you're acquiring. Whereas my title company, there's a really good difference, okay? The mentality of somebody, an escrow officer, you know how long they stay at title companies? 30, 40, 50 years, okay? So owning a title company, I don't really have acquisition people, right? Whenever you have an American salesperson in your business, and that is the main bottleneck of your business, that will be an incredibly hard business for you to scale and a hard business for you to automate and step away from. And if you can't automate and step away from it, it's not called a business. Really, at the end of the day, it's called a hobby or it's called a job, okay? So wholesaling is a very good, hard, high-paying job. And what I would say, I'm going to tell you guys something that I think wholesaling really, the best thing about wholesaling is not the money you make. The best thing about wholesaling is the relationships you create, the understandings that you now can understand. Like, you can ask me any question under the sun, and it's hard for me not to have an answer. Why? Well, because I started out wholesaling and I acquired relationships, resources. What's a resource? Private money lenders, title companies, escrow officers that could do certain things that other people couldn't do, transaction coordinators, contractors. Like, I acquired hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these resources through wholesaling, to the point where when I now want to build a portfolio, guys, you know what I'll tell you, the worst part about wholesaling is, when I wholesale a deal and I make $20,000, it feels good for about a moment. And then about a year later, when I see what the fix and flipper sold it for, and I see that, that's cool. I don't get too upset about that, because fixing and flipping is also another job. The thing I get upset about is a year later, I see the value of what that home was. And I was like, I was excited about making 20 grand, but that property went up $100,000 in value. And so I asked the question of, like, well, what's the difference between a wholesaler, a fix and flipper, and a buy and holder, the person who's actually building wealth? Well, there's a couple of differences. Patience is first. And I always tell people, I go, if you really love your day job, then don't quit it. Okay. Do wholesale and fix and flip on the side. Use that money to go and acquire rentals. What happens within a couple of years is you look at your rentals. Here's an easy way to become a millionaire. Listen to me. Buy 5 rentals and wait 5 years. You'll be a millionaire. Buy 5 rentals, wait 5 years, and you'll be a millionaire. Okay. Meanwhile, the wholesaler who's wholesaling in 5 years will not become a millionaire, even if he's crushing it. Okay. It becomes a wholesale business. Okay. The wholesale business is something that will always get bigger, and you'll have to continue to feed the dragon. And you'll wake up and you go, oh my gosh. I'll tell you what my wholesale business was like. For me, for 4 years, I wholesaled, almost exclusively wholesaled. And I'd say 90% of what I did was I was wholesaling. 10% of what I was doing was buying and holding. What I should have done is I should have wholesaled exclusively for a year. And then what I should have done is then made a new rule. And I should have said, for every 5 wholesale deals I do, I have to buy a rental. I didn't start doing that until year 3. I should have done it at the beginning of year 2. And I should have said 5 and then 1, 5 and then 1. And then by the time I'm in my 4th year, now, what's funny is there's people in here that are listening to me that actually should not even be ever be a wholesaler. How many people in here know you should never be a wholesaler? Okay. You're going to see, okay, this is so great. You guys should go and watch my avatar series. I have a 4-hour video breaking down all the different avatars. See how many people already know they don't want to be a wholesaler? Okay. If you love your job, you have a great day job, and you are good at time management, then you don't need to wholesale. Okay. I would wholesale primarily just to get some money in the door, maybe a couple of deals here and there. I would use wholesale as a way to build relationships with agents. I would wholesale to build relationships with other investors and get my feet wet and learn the terminology. But what I would very quickly do is I would maybe do a couple of fix and flips on the side, and I would use the money for my fix and flips to just start buying some rentals. Because you'll wake up in 3 or 4 years and go, dude, I actually am worth a couple $1,000,000. This is amazing. Right. And then what do? Well, you keep going. It's the same thing with me. Like, I don't want to be worth a couple $1,000,000. I don't want to be worth $10 million. I don't want to be worth $50 million. I don't even want to be worth $100 million. I want to be worth $500 million by the time I die. Why? Because I want to become the person who's worthy of $500 million, not actually have $500 million. Right. So what I would say is, fix and flips are really great because you get chunks of money. You can do them on the side. You don't have to quit your job. There's a lot of people in here, guys. The majority of us, including me, believe it or not, if you saw my calendar, you'd have a heart attack. When Carly or other people look at my calendar, like, holy crap, how does this man get anything done? Okay. I'm a time blocking, like, interweaving, really, really intelligent person in this regard, because I've spent years of my life on it. But I can tell you this. Think about this. All of you. Okay. I guess the rental concept is daunting. I would have to have stellar management companies. Not really, Paul. It's not that hard. Okay. Don't go half pace, get 1 billion. Yeah, I know. But when I say certain things, just FYI, guys, some people it just goes over their head. They're like a billion that they can't even comprehend what that means. So I just got to keep things really down to earth. Okay. So think about this. If I flew to your house, okay, any one of you guys, right? Think about this. If I flew to any one of your houses today and I spent a week with you, okay, I spent a week with you. How much extra time would I find if I was just taking notes of everything you did through the day, starting at 7 a.m., ending at 7 p.m.? Just that 12 hours. How much extra time would I find that is total BS crap? Okay. Even, believe it or not, some of the time you guys spend with your kids. And that's going to hurt some people's feelings. You're like, I want to spend more time with my kids. You don't deserve it. That hurts. You don't deserve it. People make this lie up. Okay. Look up the statistics. Okay. Men today spend 700% more time with their children than men in the 1970s. And men still, I want to spend more time with my kids. Guys, your kids don't need to be around you that much. They need to have a hero in their life. They need their dad or their mom to get their ass out there and show them what life is supposed to be like. That's the best thing for your kids. Your kids don't need 5 hours a day with you. Now, when they're small and they're little and all that kind of stuff, it's fun. I have a lot of fun doing it. But what I love with my daughters is I love returning. Okay. One thing that my mom put on my door when I was leaving all day long, every day in my family, there's a sign on the door as you leave the house. Okay. What did that sign say? That sign said, return with honor. Every day, that's what I saw. Every day as I left my house, return with honor. Okay. And so many men, sorry I'm not trying to limit men, okay? But the reality is you need to return with honor. You need to go, what did I do today that was heroic that my kids might not see me do, but their lives will be benefited from it, okay? Now, the funny thing, and I could go on a soapbox about this, is I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself in my 20s, like how much time I wasted, okay? One, not knowing which ways to actually make money and all of these other things. But here's something I also can tell you guys. I would convince myself that I was working really, really hard. One, I was a solo wolf. Don't do that. Stop wasting your time by yourself. Okay. Write this down. If you're a note taker, okay. If you're a note taker, write this down. Hanging out with people that are better than you, right? One step ahead of you. When I say better than you, I'm not talking about billionaires, millionaires, people that are one step ahead of you. Maybe you've never done a deal, they've done one deal. Okay. Those people every 90 days will make you 15% more efficient and successful at whatever path it is you choose, fixing and flipping, buying and holding, wholesaling. Okay. 15% every 90 days by hanging out with those people. Okay. Now, if I hang out with people below me and below where I want to be, the opposite is true. Okay. And that is when I hang out with people from my church that aren't actually giving me anything productive. They're just talking about why this person is that and judging this and doing that and politics this and politics that, all that kind of stuff. Okay. I don't become 15% less efficient. I become 30% less efficient. Now, this is the thing you got to write down. Hanging out only by myself has the same effect on me negatively as if I was hanging out with 5 negative people. Why is that? It's because you are conditioned from prehistoric days, from caveman days, to have a lizard in your brain that tells you, don't do the thing, be fearful, these things are scary, and and you talk yourself out of everything. Yet when we hang out with people that are doing the thing, we naturally just do the thing. Okay? So you got to change that up. It can't just be about, I'm hanging out with my family all day long. No, guys, your kids, you don't deserve to hang out with your kids as much as you want. Either do I. Now, how have I created a cheat code? Okay. How have I created a cheat code? I've created a cheat code by making sure that even though I have 2 offices that have all my businesses in them, I never go to those offices other than maybe one day a month. I'll spend all day at one office and I'll spend all day at the other office. The rest of the time, I cut out all the driving. So I'm not driving to my job, from my job, getting gas, I'm at home. So I can pop over to my guest house where I'm at right now. I can then pop back over, kiss on my girls for 30, 40 minutes while I jump into the next meeting. I can get out of that meeting, go kiss on my girls for 30, 40 minutes while I get into the next meeting. My children watch me produce all day long. I'm not sitting around just watching TV with my kids. Okay. Now, do I watch TV with my kids? Yeah, sure. Got it. Yeah. See, Adam Herrera says I lose 2.5 hours a day in traffic. Now, William, I'm going to get back to your question because I want to get on to the next person.
Yep.
But I would stay away from Sun City at this time of the year. Okay. This is why investing in your backyard is so important, because you'll understand the areas and the territories to stay away from. If it's summertime, that's when you buy a deal in Sun City so that your fix and flipper can exit that deal in October, November, December. Okay. The majority of the traffic and the majority of the sales happen in that part of the market during that time. And you're now exiting that time into January. You're going to lose all your momentum and get stuck with that Sun City deal.
Yeah.
Even if you buy it at a banger price, like lowball the piss out of them. Don't be anything above 50%, because you send them the offer. Why should I send them the offer, William? Because I should just have the practice of submitting an offer, even if I don't think I'm going to get it. And you're just racking up my 100 no's that I need in order to get to a yes. Okay.
Okay.
And by the way, a no only counts when you actually get a no. You don't get the no doesn't count if you just go, oh, they're not going to do the deal, I'm not going to submit the offer. No, you have to collect it. Just like I call them breadcrumbs. Hansel and Gretel could not have found their way back if the breadcrumbs were not there. So the breadcrumbs are the no's. You need the no's to lead you to a yes. And the only way you actually get a no is by lowballing that seller on that particular deal. So really great question. I appreciate it. Now, was that helpful for anybody? Now, there's a lot of people, a lot of women in here are like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Well, you know what I would probably suggest you do is I would suggest you become a transaction coordinator. Okay, we have transaction coordinators in here that are making $6,000 a month, $12,000 a month. A couple of transaction coordinators are making $50,000 a month. Now they don't take home 50 grand, but they generate 50 grand and they end up taking home 30 grand a month, right? After they pay their teams and all that kind of stuff. Become a TC, understand your avatar, understand why I put the Elephant Challenge together. This is not just for wholesalers. This is for fix and flippers that could even come in here and go, ooh, I could collaborate with other people. Okay. Now, Amelia Mosley, what do you got for me?
That's perfect. It's a perfect segue to my question. I also want to say thank you to everybody yesterday, for the team leaders. They were awesome. And the cold calling was like super valuable. Joey was a beast. Mike was great. And thanks for being here today on a Saturday.
Of course.
So that leads to my question. I'm like, I don't know which one to ask, but this is the most pressing one, I think. 2023 was like the year of like missed deals for me. Like I don't know if it was procrastination or analysis paralysis or fear or a combination of the three. But I missed out on a lot. And so I want to make sure that I take action, which is why I love this challenge. And I love actually pretty much everything that I've been a part of that you've done so far, which isn't much, but it's definitely more action taking. And I want to make sure that 2024 is not the same. It's not a repeat. So with that said, I have a friend who has tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of acres. And like, help me sell this. And I'm like, okay, but I don't know where to start. I don't know if seller financing is a good thing. I don't know if it's something that I should list. I don't know, it's funny how you say, make sure that your network is your net worth kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Because my friends are, they do have a lot of high net worth. But with that said, I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know I always like to bring something to the table and not be like, can I? So at this point, I am trying to figure out how to navigate, how to get involved, how to offer up something and also receive something, and then, maybe make this happen.
Yeah.
So I think some of the land is buildable. People have to do their due diligence. I've never dealt with land before. I have no idea what my first steps should be.
Okay, got it. So I don't know the land, and nor do I need to answer this question necessarily, but I'll give you a couple of different options. Okay. And the challenge with giving people options that are newer is that it will overwhelm you. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a handful of options for yourself. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what the land is. Could you list it? Absolutely. There's like 15 different land websites, right? Landwatch.com is one of my favorite websites to ever go on. Like landwatch.com is so gangster. Like I love this website so much. Maybe it's because I'm a hillbilly at heart, but if I go to landwatch.com, I go to Landwatch, guess what I do? I go to search for land in the United States. Okay. Check this out. I'm going to go to, there's 564,000. Can you see this on your screen?
Yeah.
Look how many listings there are in the United States for land. Pretty awesome, right? You can get, there's ranches, there's all sorts of stuff, mobile home parks, there's all sorts of other things. There's even businesses on here. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to click on owner financing. There's 13,569 owner financing properties on LandWatch. Now, there's houses, there's ranches, there's mobile home parks, there's businesses, all sorts of stuff. Even single family houses are on here. Okay. So first and foremost, like you want to go build an RV park or a tiny home community, you want to go do cool things. If you're somebody who's like, I want to do that. All right, well, guys, it's just like putting a puzzle piece together. You don't have to be the person that even has to be one of the puzzle pieces. You have to be the hands that are putting the puzzle pieces together. So let's talk about this. Okay. Yeah, Alethea says landmodo.com. So there's another one. There's literally like 15 that I know of that I'll go to, but Landwatch is my favorite one. I don't know why. I just got used to it. I like it. Okay. Somebody's going to be like, Pace is promoting landwatch.com. My
Hey.
gosh. So Landwatch is really good. Now, what would I do if I were you? A couple of things I would do. I would list the property on all the land things, and I would offer owner financing, but not give any particular details of what that means. Okay.
Okay.
Why? Because you don't want to just line it out. People are going to go through. You want them to be encouraged to call you and have a conversation with you. Now, if somebody's going to call you, yeah, you'll get some wholesalers that call you that, whatever, but you'll be able to tell the difference between the developer and somebody who actually is a wholesaler. You'll be able to tell the difference pretty quickly. I would list it regardless and say owner finance on all of it. Okay. What did I say yesterday? 60% of all business transactions. Okay. 60% of all business transactions. If Walmart sold to Amazon today, there's an element of seller finance in every single business transaction. Guess what? In land, it's like 80 something percent of all land is sold on seller finance with some element of seller finance. Why? Okay. The reason why is because it takes a long time to get permits, run water, run electricity, do all these things. And so the buyer who's going to buy the property, the developer is like, dude, I'll buy that at whatever your price is, as long as you don't make me make payments for 12 months. Then I'll either get a big development loan and buy you out once I get my permits. There's 1,000 different ways, not 1,000, there's probably 50 different ways that developer will come to you with an opportunity. What I would do if I were you is I would say, I want a portion of the upfront fee. Okay. So let's say that you sell this for $1 million. It's probably worth more than $1 million, but I don't know.
But there's 900 acres. There's different pockets, 900 acres. And
That's super not important. Not important. Just here's the structure I would do. Whatever the sales price is, I would tell your friend, I want a portion of that sales price. Are you a real estate agent?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a licensed investor.
There you go. The challenge with a real estate agent is that real estate agents are poisoned to think about commission. I would never work for a commission if my life depended on it. Like it's a poisonous thought process, right? You're trying to be an entrepreneur, but you're earning a commission. That doesn't sound much like an entrepreneur. Yeah. I would tell your buddy, say, hey, I don't want to be your agent on this. I actually want to see if I can, participate as a partner on this. And you can go list it, but you need to have an agreement with your seller that you're like, I'm not representing you as an agent. I'm representing as a partner in this deal. Whatever we sell it for, I want to be able to carve out my deal once we find out what it's going to be. But I'd like to be 5% of the sales price. And I want to see if I can get you and I to get 20% of the back end of whatever the developer does. Okay.
Oh.
There's so many more ways to make money than just making a commission on the front end. So I'll give you a good example. I did a development, 15 houses about 4 years ago in Mesa, Arizona. I had a piece of dirt that I had under contract from a seller. It was a wholesale deal. I get the piece of dirt under contract. I find a home builder. It wasn't like Toll Brothers or any of these big companies. They're building master plan communities. I'm not calling them, right? I'm calling the builder that does all the infill stuff. So I drove around town, got in my Prius, and I drove around town and I found like little pockets of these little infill neighborhoods. I'm sure we've all seen them. 10 houses that looks like a little community. They're all new builds and they were built in like the wedge between other different neighborhoods. We've all seen this, right? Okay. Those are the builders you want to talk to, or at least that I wanted to talk to. So I called that builder. Took me like 4 people to actually get a hold of somebody. And I ended up having a conversation with them. And what I did is I sold the property. I don't remember the exact sales price, but it was a little over $400,000. I took a $40,000 fee up front. And I told the developer, I said, here's what I'll do is I'll go to the seller and I'll have the seller carry the dirt for you, which means no payments, no nothing, no interest until you get your permits, as long as you give us $400,000 with a $40,000 fee on top of. So essentially an option fee of $40,000. Guess who took the $40,000? I did. I took $40,000 before the seller took a dollar because I'm the one putting the puzzle pieces together. Okay. So the builder gives me a $40,000 fee. It's only an option fee. So if he doesn't end up getting permits or actually doing the project, I keep the fee and I can then go and resell the dirt. Okay. There's so much to do here. The biggest thing, Amelia, you have to do is pick up the heaviest object on planet Earth and talk to the builders that would actually do something on that dirt. So you got to do some homework. It's like, I call it being a deal detective, and it's so fun. So that developer went and did those. I think he ended up building 18 homes. And what I did is I asked for 20% of his net profit as he sold. He's like, bro, 20% of my net profit. I was like, I didn't say gross profit. I want your net profit. And he ended up giving me 10% of the net profit. And I made like another 200 something $1,000 on the back end, but it took me 2 years to get it. So, depending on how creative you want to be, you can get paid up front. Then you can also learn what development process looks like. And that developer became a friend of mine. Obviously, over 2 years, we're communicating. I'm driving by the property. I'm making YouTube videos about it. I'm getting to understand his business, what he's doing, why he's not doing this, and and then I get paid $200,000 at the end of it, right? There's no end to how many ways you can make money in this business. So the only limitation is thinking like a commission a commission agent of like, I just want to get my fee up front. No.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So you go to your friend, you go, hey, let me list these and let's see what kind of activity we get. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a deal detective and I'm going to find out who would actually have a good use for this land. And every parcel that you have is going to be a different answer.
Right.
And more importantly, it's going to be a different story. Okay.
Right.
It's going to be a fun story for you to uncover and put in the chapter of your book when you write a book of like, how did Amelia, became Amelia Earhart, whatever the story is, you're going to have an amazing story. And each one of these parcels of land is a whole dedicated chapter, like how I took dirt to whatever we would end up, dirt to gold, whatever you name the book. And every chapter of the book is how you treated every parcel in that portfolio differently based on where it was and who could use the property and zoning and this, that, and the other. And that's a whole entire dedicated book. How many people would read that book that if Amelia went and did the hard work, she made the money on the thing and she made an ebook out of it and she gave it away to people?
I love that.
Hang out with me for a day. I promise you, just the ideas and the conversation I'll have with you, you'll walk away going, I'm thinking differently just being around this person.
Yeah, seriously. I love that. That's awesome. I do have one more short question too.
Okay.
Do you have to be a lawyer or I guess an agent in a specific state to be a TC? To be your TC?
No, a transaction coordinator, no, you don't have to be licensed. Some people will say you have to be licensed. There are certain things you should be licensed for. So for example, if you are doing a transaction coordinator for somebody else's file in some states, you should either A, be a licensed TC to write a note and deed of trust, or B, you can work on as a principal in the company to write a note and deed of trust. So for example, um, some of the properties I sell on a wrap. Okay. I'll make this really simple. I won't get into creative finance. So let's say that, and Molly does this all the time. Molly and Allison and Jade, and I have 6 full-time TCs on my team, but those 3 girls will typically write some of the more complicated things on my team. So let's say that I go and I do a fix and flip. Well, it's easy for the fix and flip hard money lender to give me the money for like 80% of my purchase. But then where does the other 20% come from? Well, it comes from a private money lender, right? Usually one of my Subto students or a Gator that brings money to a transaction for me, and I'm now into the flip with no money out of pocket, right? Well, for that second lender, the one that's bringing in my down payment, what we call gap money, the gap that I'm missing, right? Hard money lender says, I'll give you 80% of the money you need. Okay, now I have a gap. I have a lack of money, right? The 20% will come from another human being. And so we write what is called a promissory note, right? A note, you already know what these are, but some people in here do not know. Okay. So Miguel says, Pace, do you know Carlos Reyes at Property? Yes, I know Carlos Reyes. Yeah, I've known Carlos Reyes for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years or something. Okay. So that agreement between the person that brought the money to the table and myself is called a promissory note. Some people in the industry just call it a note, okay, to keep it short. Well, a note is just an agreement, but a deed of trust is actually what attaches that note to the property. This is getting complicated. I'll try and not get any more complicated. Those documents you can write as a transaction coordinator is if you are on my staff, okay? If you are on my paid staff, like you work for me as an employee. If you're a transaction coordinator, you should not be, if you're doing this for another client, you should not be writing those documents. That's a no-no. Okay. Now, a lot of times you can get your title company to write those documents. And sometimes you just go to an attorney and they fill them out. They're $300. It's not super expensive, but you don't have to be a licensed TC in any of the 50 states unless you're writing documents like a note and deed of trust. And the easier way to get around that is just to have somebody else do that. It's very few documents that need to be done by an attorney.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you so much, Pace. I hope you get to sleep at least 5 hours.
I sleep hard 5 hours every night. Thank you. You're awesome. Great questions the last couple of days, by the way. Thank you so much. Like really, really great questions. Nathaniel, Paulus, Polos. Nathaniel, how do we say your last name, dude?
Opalus. I don't have any opals.
Opalus. I like that. All right, Opalus. Got it.
It's a funny story, actually. My great grandmother, it used to be Georgopoulos, right? Because it's Greek.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to keep writing it all out. It's too long to write. So she chopped it in half, and we've been Opalus ever since.
That's really cool. What do you got for me today?
I had a question, but it's gone out of my head since I thought it up. But I think it had something to do with privy and trying to figure out the appropriate comps. I'm not sure if this is the exact thing I was going to ask, but this is what I have right now. I have the comparables and the ARV percentage that shows up in that one column. I see one that's like 70%, another one's like 56%, 84%. Is that like the percentage of the final repair value that you're looking for, or is it like, okay, I just want a clarification on that.
Yeah, it is it's the percentage of the final ARV. Yeah.
So in order to find out what the final ARV would be, is I could do like a how would you call that? A proportion kind of thing, where you do the math where you times it by like the percentage and then divide it by 100.
Yeah, the first thing you want to do when you comp, right? So let's say you look at the property that's on market, okay, and you see it on Privy. And I don't have Privy on this computer. I don't know my login, so I got to fix that. My wife was obviously on my other computer, and so she has all the login stuff on that side. But when you're doing a comp, you look at the property, you're like, oh, okay, this has been on. Here's what I would be doing if I'm looking for deals. I'm looking for agents that have houses on the market over 30, at least 30 days, probably closer to 60 days. And I'm filtering those, and then I look at those properties and I go, okay, I'm going to make 10 offers today. Which 10 do I want to make offers on? And I'll select those 10. And I go, okay, these are the 10. I'll put them in a spreadsheet. These are the 10 I'm making an offer on today. I then take those properties and I scroll down to the comps, right? Because that's Privy will just automatically, when I click on the first property, it will just give me the automatic comps. I go on there and I verify, kind of like what we did with my wife on day 2, where I'll look at that property and go, oh, that one's missing a pool. That one's missing a thing. I don't really like the floor plan as much as this. And I kind of just, it's not that hard. Like, guys, we're all homeowners or we all rent. You've been in properties, floor plans that you like and floor plans you don't like. You don't need me to walk you through that. Like, you can go,
Gotcha.
yeah, kind of Kentucky windage. Okay.
I
don't overdo my comps. Okay. I just don't overdo my comps. I don't overthink my comps. I don't try and be perfect on them. I realize that I'm just kind of getting a Kentucky windage or like a gut reaction. Okay. I then go through, I put what I think my maximal, what I think the ARV is. And then I back into it like, oh, okay, renovation, this, that, and the other. I want to make $20,000. And then that comes up with my offer. I then call the agent before I send the offer. Okay. There's other people, different business model. Not that there's a problem with it. In fact, I got a lot of students that are doing this method because they're just going as fast as they possibly can. Maria says, Laura's calculator really helped with the MAO. Perfect. Love that. Thank you so much. So some of my students will just blindly send over LOIs to agents, like hundreds a day. Okay. They've got software that are doing that. I don't like that when I'm brand new. Now, when you start scaling, that's a different conversation, right? But when you're by yourself, you should be calling. Okay. Like Myron says, yikes. Myron's one of he actually calls it the Myron method. Okay. It's not really meant for a brand new person to do that at scale. What you should be doing is calling the agent saying, hey, my name is Pace. I'm a newer investor in the area. I just want to let you know I'm going to send over a lowball offer today. I'm sure it won't get accepted. But one, I want to build a relationship with you. And I want to let you know that I'm going to be offering on every single listing you have. And I just want to let you know that don't be offended by it. Some of them are going to work. Some of them won't work. And I just want to let you know that I'm here. Right? Like, people that are sitting there like, I'm afraid of sending a lowball offer and the agent's going to be pissed off. Well, if you call those agents and just have a polite conversation, perfect. Lowball them. Okay. You heard, what was it? His name's Don from Boston yesterday. He's like, I submitted 100 offers. I got 4 contracts. Like, if you submit 10 offers a day for 10 days, you're going to get a contract, like 2, 3, 4 contracts. It's going to happen. And what I would be doing is before they go, hey, we really like your offer, we'd like to move forward. Before you sign that agreement, okay, the purchase agreement, before you sign it, okay, that's when I then call buyers before I sign a contract. Now, other people are going to go, this goes too slow. Okay, but when you're new, you want to do it this way. I'm now going to go back to Privy and go, oh my gosh, I got one. But before I pull this fish out of the water, it's slapping around. Oh my gosh, before I yank this bad boy out and I get the contract, what I do is I call the buyers that I can see in Privy, the people that were on those comps, and I go, hey, I've got a deal I'm about to sign. Or you can say, hey, I just signed a deal, right? So they don't go around you. Hey, because everybody's afraid of people going around you. Hey, I've got a deal. I just signed it today. And I want to give you first right to look at it. I'm a deal finder in the area, and I want to see if you would buy this deal and let me make a fee of bringing the deal to me. What would you pay for this? And they'll tell you, go, oh, I'd probably pay $250. When's close of escrow? And you're sitting here going, dude, I locked this thing up at $200,000. Oh my gosh. So now you're texting back to the agent. Yep. Send over the contract. Let's get this thing done. And you guys get into a contract, and then the buyer should be your final determination before you sign that contract. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So many people will sit here and go, I need to be the master comper. Guys, I'm not the best at comping because I don't think that's the highest level skill. The highest level skill is building relationships with agents and building relationships with buyers. and let my buyers tell me what they want. I'm not going to assume what my buyer wants. I'm going to let them bring it to me. This is also why I look at people that are like trying to be the best compers. Great. Okay. If you're trying to do the fix and flip yourself and you're trying to do the buy and hold yourself, then yes, amplify your ability to comp. But when you're just doing wholesale deals, the buyer determines the price. So what am I doing overdoing the comps? Like if you are spending less, if you are spending more than 4 minutes on a house to comp it, you have spent, let's say this, if you've spent 5 minutes on comping a property, that means you spent 3 minutes too many. Truly.
Even as a beginner?
Even as a beginner.
Okay.
Now,
all right.
Now when you're saying like, hey, I'm not comping right now, I'm just surfing through Privy and I'm getting to know the mechanics and I'm doing this, and you're listening to music while you're maybe listening to the news or whatever else, and you're comping and you're having fun. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about today I'm making my 10 list. Like this is really simple. This business is so simple. The problem truly is that people just don't do the work and they make up BS excuses. They really don't want to change their lives. They say they do, but when I talk to them, okay, sometimes I'll get people that, come from my YouTube channel or my Instagram DMs and they go, but I've been trying really hard. I go, perfect, fly out here, spend a day with me. And they're, wait, what are we going to do? I go, I'm going to watch you work. I'm going to give you access to all my stuff. I'm going to watch you work. I want to see what you're doing. And then what they do is they go,
you're in the headlights.
I haven't really been doing much. I've been watching a lot of YouTube. That's not working. Right? Even being on Zoom right now is not working. Like it's not until you go, what are my 10 houses that I'm doing today? My day should just be submitting 10 offers a day. You're going to get 1 contract a week on average. So I look at it, I go, now, Myron, you're in here, you're blasting JOIs where I know, or what is it? LOIs, my bad.
Is that what, letter of intent? Is that what that stands for?
Letter of intent. So you're doing LOIs. How many are getting accepted? Like percentage wise. It might be 1 in 100. Joe says, bring him up. No, I'm not going to bring him up. Okay, so he says 10%. So what did I say? Well, he's getting a lot accepted. Okay, by the way, everybody in Subto, Myron's going to be doing a Zoom with me, I think in 2 or 3 weeks after the golden ticket event that we're having in a couple of weeks. So after that in Subto, Myron's going to probably do a 2 or 3 Zoom series on exactly what pace. I would love to take. Going to happen. I already know you're not doing it. What I want is for somebody to say, I'm doing it and I haven't gotten a contract. I have everything you've told me to do. I've done it and I'm still not getting a contract. Then I'm like, all right. I had a student of mine came into Subto. He's like, I've been in Subto for 2 months. I haven't done a deal. I go, I'll bet you $5,000 that you'll get a deal in the next 90 days. And work an hour a day. He's like, okay, tell me what to do. He got a deal in his first week because he did the work. When somebody tells me they haven't gotten a deal, they've really not told me they haven't gotten a deal. They told me that they have not done the work. Right? I call it the ice cream paradox. Okay. What's the ice cream paradox? The ice cream paradox is when somebody tells me they don't like ice cream, I don't hear that they said, I don't like ice cream. You know what I hear? I hear that they're lactose intolerant because nobody in their effing right mind does not like ice cream. The only reason you wouldn't eat ice cream is because you're a health lunatic, or which even health lunatics eat ice cream, or you're lactose intolerant. That's it. There's nobody on the planet. It's a perfect food. It can be any flavor you want, right? So when somebody says, I don't like ice cream, I go, oh, you are allergic to milk. You are lactose intolerant. So same thing when somebody says, I haven't done a deal yet. I don't hear that. I hear, I haven't done the work. That's all I hear. And when you guys hear that as well, right? When you see somebody says, I've done this and this and I haven't done a deal, it's physically impossible to not get a deal done if you do that. It's physically impossible. In fact, the dumber you are at this, in a lot of ways, the better off you are. Really. Has anybody ever met somebody that you're like, how are you so dumb and you're making money? Like, you have your shoes on the wrong feet, quite literally. How did you didn't even brush your teeth today, but you made 50 grand this month. What the heck? It's actually the smart people. Okay. The smart people are the ones that have the most trouble. The people who pick up on a lot of what I'm saying. Meanwhile, the people who are dumb and not that intelligent, all they heard was make 10 offers blindly. And they go make 10 offers. Like, I got a deal. And then I bring them
hear
up.
you. I get in my own way a lot. It's
Yep,
something
smart
I've
people typically
started
do.
to recognize. But
Yep. And here's the thing. How do I overcome overthinking? How do I overcome that? You guys want to know the way to overcome overthinking forever for the rest of your life? I'll tell you exactly what to do. Be around a community of people that are actually doing business. Right? It's like, think about this. If you've ever done a project in your garage, you've ever built something, you've gone down to Home Depot, should I buy this? Should I buy that? You start overthinking. You're on every YouTube thing. Oh my God, I don't know, man. I don't know. Meanwhile, your neighbor just comes over and goes, no, bro, what are you doing? Boom, 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 done. That's why community is so critically important, because we as human beings will naturally overthink. Okay. Now here's the next hack. Okay. So the biggest hack is joining a community. That's the biggest hack, and being around people doing deals. That's hack number one. Hack number two, as you scale into that community, you're going to run into overthinking at a higher level. Now the overthinking you're going to run into, which I'm sure a lot of my leaders run into, okay, it's a different problem, but you're going to run into it too, which is, oh my gosh, I'm afraid of actually all this success. Is this going to keep going? Oh my gosh, I'm going to quit my job. Oh my gosh, if I quit my job, is this all of a sudden the real estate world going to just quit? See, Don Walker's like every day. Rachel says, yep, we do overthink. Jennifer Champion says the next level. Okay. So you will never run out of problems to have. So if you already know that, okay, here's the issue. The issue is that you are avoiding tomorrow's problems by avoiding today's problems. All I want to do, I even said this to Carly yesterday. I said, hey, I'm actually upset we didn't make more mistakes yesterday. We were talking about the elephant challenge and some of the clunkiness of the back end and stuff like that. And I was saying, I'm really upset that we didn't make more mistakes, because we can't learn. And I told Alex there was a minor mistake that was made. It wasn't really a mistake. It was just like she hadn't been trained on the thing yet, but there was a snafu that happened. And I went to Alex in the backstage and I was like, thank goodness this happened, because now you actually learned why this is so important. She's like, yes, 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 yes. I used to have this rule, Nathan, in my construction company, that I would be upset if each employee did not make a $3,000 mistake every single month.
Interesting.
What's a 3,000? Because I ain't no bitch. I understand the universal truth is that you have to make a mistake. It's not okay to make a mistake. It is a requirement to make mistakes. It is a requirement. I got a bench press behind me. Can I build a chest of muscles without completely destroying my chest and working my muscles to failure? No.
Nope.
And what happens is people go do 10 push-ups. Got a little pump. You're not building muscle that way. You have to completely deplete your energy to the point where you're almost throwing up in order to actually build muscle mass. Okay. And so what happens is people are like, okay, so you avoid your workout. Obviously that's why you look like crap. Me too. Okay. I don't try to avoid my workout, but my brain also tries to convince me. Okay. This is why you got to hire people or being around people that are really fit, and that changes your life. Again, community, right? Being around the people that are doing it helps you get past the overthinking. Then the next level, okay, that next level of overthinking, how do I get past it? The one of like, oh my gosh, here's how to do it. You put your freaking back against the wall by hiring or building a team. So why do you think I force my leaders to lead in the Elephant Challenge? Do you know what is actually happening? One of the best parts about the Elephant Challenge is I don't get any benefit being here, right? Like, what benefit do I get? I mean, yes, I'll buy some deals from people from the Elephant Challenge from time to time, but if I spent the same amount of time with my Subto community over the last 4 days as I normally do, I would buy 10 times more deals, because they're already further ahead than the elephants. I would just buy more deals, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the benefit I get as watching the Angie Milanazos, the Dom Milanazos, the Mike Jacksons, the Don Walkers, the Myron and Carolyn's, I watched them be put in a position of, holy crap, I have to lead other human beings. And I say, yeah, welcome to the pathway of being a multimillionaire. You can't get there by not being a leader. You can't get there by not having pressure and stress. You have to have that. And so when you have people on your team, you can't overthink. Because guess what? Their payroll has to be made in 2 weeks. Think about the stress. But how do you hire a team when you have no money? Amelia, great question. What do you think I'm doing for my students? I'm bringing non-students to them to bring leads to them. I'm teaching the non-students the basics of generating leads, like bare minimum. They bring the leads to my students. My students don't have to pay for that. This is why it's so important for my community, the Gators, the top tier TCs and Subto students, to come in and help lead the Elephant Challenge, because now you don't have to hire a team. You're helping people get their first couple of deals and it costs you no money. Make sense? Boom. So, Nathaniel.
Yeah.
Your buyer should be the one that's doing the final comp. If you are spending 5 minutes on a comp, that means you spent 3 minutes too long. And you should be submitting 10 offers a day. If you don't, here's what you should do. If you've submitted, let's see, 10 offers a day in 90 days, that's 900 offers in 90 days. Okay. If you submitted 900 offers in 90 days and didn't get a deal, that's the first time you can ask if you're doing something wrong. Here's what most people will do, okay? Most people will go, I haven't gotten a deal in my first week. Something must be wrong. There must be something wrong. So guess what they do? They stop working because they're second guessing themselves. They don't have somebody to rely on, somebody further ahead than them to encourage them and tell them, no, you're on the right path.
Because like the mindset that you grow up with is if you do something multiple times without seeing a different result, that's insanity.
Yep.
And maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, but that's kind of what's taught, right?
Well, yeah, it's taught because, it should be taught. Can I be honest with you? People are like, oh man, the government wants us to be slaves. No, I'm going to tell you something right now. Most human beings are lazy, lethargic pieces of crap. If I was the government too, I would also create the school system we have that creates drones. No, they're not creating drones. They're managing drones that can't even snap out of their own way. The information is there. People are just not looking for it. The opportunities are there. The government's not like, hey, stay away from these opportunities. Did the government tell you guys not to come in on a Saturday?
Nope.
No. The government is sitting there handling
that I exist, really.
Okay. The government, okay. The government, they're a bunch of idiots too, but they're like, how do we handle all these idiots that don't want to actually work? You know what we should do? We better create a system that just tells them exactly what to do and when to do it and when not to do it. And then, oh, okay. Maybe we can have some normalcy, because most people just can't even get out of their own freaking way. If I was the government, I'd make a prison of education and 9-to-5 jobs too. It's the only way to handle the masses. You give me a different idea. People don't want to work. And I'll tell you, out of 800 people that are in this Zoom right now, I can tell you there's probably a good 200 or 300 people in here that have 9-to-5 jobs that don't work more than 10 hours a week at that 9-to-5 job.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm not lying.
No, I could see it though.
And if I ask them, guys, be honest, how many people are at your 9-to-5 job? Okay. Joe says, a little bit more here. Okay. Mentally, I mean, or physically, actually.
No, I like physically. I can even,
if you're a contractor, you're a nurse. If you're a nurse, then I'm not talking about you. Okay. But how many people in here literally are just sitting around waiting for orders at your job? Give me a yes. Let's be honest. Okay, there you go. Debbie says 40 hours. Just because you clocked in 40 hours doesn't mean you actually did the work. Tell me the truth. Okay, Sharon, different. Okay, Joe says, yeah, 100%. Okay. I'm usually half day behind. Okay, cool. Okay, Michael says, yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of people in here. I'm not criticizing them. Just you guys are getting paid 40 hours for doing 20 hours worth of work. I have my sister-in-law She works at a logistics company. And she's like, I work maybe 8 hours a week, maybe, but I'm at the office 40, 50. Most of the time it's like socializing, hanging out with people, Zoom meetings. It's like nobody's actually accomplishing anything. Okay. So what ends up happening is there's that environment that has to exist. Otherwise, people wouldn't know what to do with themselves. Okay. Yeah. Michael says 20 hours a week, maybe. Okay, great. So now when you become an entrepreneur, guys, I'm telling you, it's 12 hours a day for 2 years straight to get yourself to a position where you're like, I'm making millions of dollars. And that is a nearly impossible bridge to get over because it's all mindset. People, the tactics are there. Like ask ChatGPT. Okay. If you need information, go to ChatGPT. But that's not what human beings need. We don't need information. We believe we need information because we're trying to overcome the lizard in our brain that's telling us not to do the thing because we're afraid that the thing that we're doing is not actually accomplishing anything. Oh my gosh. But if you actually had another human being that's a step ahead of you, somebody in your community, Subto, Gator, top tier TC, they're just one step ahead of you. They've been successful. They've done the deal. That is the true way to overcome overthinking. That is the true and only way to overcome thinking. That's it. So all of us, think about it. Even like framing a house. Did you read a book and watch a YouTube video on how to frame a house? Or did you actually have to go on a job site and somebody show you how to, which hammer to use and which thing to use and why we don't use that wood? Hey, you're not using pressure treated wood on the floor there. It needs to be green coated, right? All of those things you have to learn on the job. And the only way to do that in real estate is be part of a community of people that are actively doing the deals. Now, I feel like if you go to a RIA, here I call them diarrheas. A lot of people, you guys don't know what a RIA is, but a RIA is like a free meetup every single month. And it's mostly like real estate agents and like people that are wearing oversized suits and stupid name tags that say I've been a realtor for, at Coldwell Banker for 82 years. We call those diarrheas. Nobody wants to go to those. Those people aren't doing deals. Okay. Go to a meetup with real estate investors that are all actively, doing what they do. And not only that, but go to a meetup where not everybody's trying to do the same thing. That's what's great about the Avatar series and actually having a community of people that are all diverse. Some people bring the money. Some people are like, I don't want to buy property. Some people are like, I don't want to call sellers, but I have private money. Some people are like, I don't want to do any of that. I just want to do the paperwork and manage the portfolio. Okay. Other people are like, I want to call. I want to door knock. I want to submit the offers. I want to fight with brokers. I want to do this. I want to raise the money. It's 25 ways to succeed, 25 different paths. And all of those paths need the other people to be successful in their individual paths. So we can borrow resources and relationships and skills from those other paths that we did not have to go down. Okay. So for example, if somebody's a really good capital raiser and they know how to raise money, I don't necessarily have to be the one that does it. I need to be the person that finds the project and then goes to the person that knows how to raise money and go, let's partner together. Boom. What happens is people are like, I have shiny object syndrome. No, you don't. You have a lack of community. If you knew you had a squad, right? Think about a basketball team. Do you think Kobe Bryant was like, oh, I'm really afraid because I should play every role on the court? No. He knew his role, his position, because he knew Shaquille O'Neal was big enough to handle the center court. He's like, that's not my job. They don't get shiny object syndrome because they have a squad of people that are filling in the blank spaces of what they're missing. And that's the problem with all the new people. They sit there and they're on YouTube and they're in the free Facebook group and they're in the thing and they're read, watch. It's like, okay, you don't have a team. Well, I don't bring any value to anybody. Oh my gosh. Check this out. Okay. The core value that everybody brings to another human being, regardless. Okay. Yeah, this is really great. Keola says, even Kobe Bryant could not pass the ball to himself. He needed other teammates to do that, right? Think about this. Man, I could go on about this for hours. And I think you guys get the point. You get the point. A lot of you guys are overthinking and you're sitting here going, oh, but I need the next step. No, you need the next person. Read the book, Who, Not How. Who is going to solve your problem, not how, right? ChatGPT has all the answers to everything. Okay. John Gross says, Pace, what are the gotchas of working with investors? That's another crippling question of like, oh my gosh, gotta watch out for all the things. Guys, do you know why I've been successful? Number one, a community. Number two, I have a personality type I've had to train into myself, which is I hear something and I immediately implement it, not to be successful at the thing, but to fail at the thing. I am purposely trying to fail. Mess around, find out. Mess around, find out. The more you mess around, the more you'll find out. Okay. And yesterday I had this conversation with one of my students. She called me on a deal. She was working in South Carolina, and it's this crazy thing. You guys might have heard a little story about it yesterday where the seller or the buyer, their buyer moved into the house before they closed escrow, and they had to get the police involved and all that kind of stuff. And I got off the phone with her and she goes, okay, all right, I feel a lot better. And I said, congratulations. As I was getting off the phone, she's like, congratulations. I go, yeah, because you're learning the recipe of learning. The only way to actually learn this stuff is to do it. It's the only way. Like I can give you all the information. Pace, I'm overwhelmed. Pace, I got shiny object syndrome. No, you don't. You're just not taking action. You're overthinking. Well, why are you overthinking? Because you're not relying on other people. So here's the last thing I'll say about this, and I'll shut the heck up. We'll do a couple more questions. But think about this. People go, I don't have any value to provide to anybody else. Anybody feel that way? You ever got that stupid little voice inside your back of your mind like, I don't have any value. I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to do this on my own until I have some value to provide to anyone. Okay. That's the inside voice, right? Let me ask you a question. What's the core value that we all should be bringing to somebody else in terms of value?
Friendship.
Friendship. Gosh damn it, Nathan, you just hit it right on the head. Number one foundational element that everybody needs in their life, friendship. Okay? Friendship. Hey, let's go drive and look for ugly houses together. Let's go look at this project. Let's go look. There's this house being framed down the road. Let's go walk through the framing of the house. Figure out how to make this fun, guys. That's what community is all about. It's like I wake up in the morning and I'm excited to hang out with my people. All my best friends are in the community. I wake up and I say, how the heck can I hang out with them every possible day? Just like I did when I was in high school. A lot of you guys forgot what that felt like. Okay. A lot of you guys forgot what it was like to hang out in high school and have those moments. And so what you're doing is you're like, I'm going to slave away the rest of my life until I'm 65 years old and I can retire on some $300,000 BS pension. And then I can go to a 65-year-old person's retirement center and I'll make some friends there. And then I can enjoy my life. Guys, learn how to enjoy working with your friends today. Work with your friends today and have fun doing it. Let's go do this. Hey, let's go do that. Let's go do a meetup. Hey, who's got a project? Now here's the other thing too. Okay. The other thing is some of your as a spouses suck. Straight up. Some of your spouses suck. You want to know why? Because they're holding you back. Why? Well, because you want to change, you want to upgrade. And so I heard this really amazing quote the other day where somebody said, the reason why your spouse is giving you resistance to the change you're trying to make is because you are killing the version of yourself that they've been married to for so long. Mm. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to kill yourself. You're trying to kill the version of today, right? Through hard work, perseverance, and failure. Like when you're working out, for example, you're trying to destroy yourself. That's actually what you're trying to do. Think about working out.
With the muscles. Yep.
You are destroying your muscle fibers. You are tearing them, micro tears through muscle building. You are trying to make that muscle fail through giving it hard work, right? To the point where I'm going to throw up. I'm working out so hard, right? You're killing yourself every day in a workout. Yet when we go to our job, we're like, I guess I'm going to just chill and relax. You should be killing your personality. You should be killing your communication style. You should be killing the way that you show love to your spouse. Every year, this is what I told my wife. I said, next year, you should not be married to me. She's like, huh? I go, yeah, I'm going to kill this version of myself before next year happens. This man you know today will die. I'm going to kill him through hard work. I'm going to kill him through working out. I'm going to kill him through putting himself through pressure cooker situations. Kill that version of yourself. It's the only way to become what you want to become. So a lot of you guys that are overthinking, it's because you're just staying the same version. Your skin, right? Your skin molts all the time. You don't see it, but your skin is like every 90 days you have renewed skin, but you have no extra money in your bank account. Your body's sitting there going like, hey, I'm reminding you, we're becoming a new person every 90 days. What the heck are you doing? Put some freaking work in, man. I'm doing my job. Why aren't you doing it? Well, I'm overthinking. Am I doing it right? No, you're not. Which is exactly what you should be doing. Don't do anything right. Do it all wrong. Do it all wrong. All of it. Do all of it wrong for a year. You know what? That's better than just sitting here doing nothing. So anyway, good question, Nathaniel. Hopefully that was helpful. I know I went on a little bit about the mindset stuff, but really a lot of it has to do with mindset. A lot of this has to do with mindset. Laura Camillo, how you doing?
Very good, sir. How are you?
Good. Is your name Lara?
No, my name is Camilo, Camilo, and my
Okay.
last name is Lara.
Okay, cool.
I'm a foreigner, yeah. And
Awesome.
I have two questions. One of them is I'm a foreigner. I have an investor visa. I already have properties here in Florida. I live in Jupiter, Florida, and I invest in Hope Sound, Vero Beach, and Winter Haven, and just lots, because that's what I used to do in my country. Yeah, just the lots. I buy the lots and I build the house. But and I want to know if I need to be and I buy cash. So do I need to be a citizen to get these loans?
No, I mean, every creative finance deal I've ever done in my life, okay, Camilo, I've never done a creative finance deal where anybody cared what my citizenship is. I've never used my social security number one time. I've never pulled my credit one time. I've never gone to a bank one time. I've never even pulled my credit. I've never had to show job history. I've never had to show bank history. I've literally not had to do any of that to do creative finance
Yo
deals.
tengo membresía. Oh yes, sir. And the last question is about I will go to the meeting that you have in Florida and Orlando.
Awesome.
But do you have an average for how many people after your meeting they be like you, they finish like you?
You mean like they become me?
Yes. I mean, not you, of course, but like you.
Thousands. I have thousands of people in my community that have become as successful as I am in what they want to be successful in. So for example, I've got students that just do creative finance mobile home parks. I've got students that do only creative finance RV parks. I've got students that do only creative finance multifamily. I've got students that go, I love everything PACE teaches about creative finance, but actually what I love about PACE is as a student, I learned how to raise capital from PACE, and I actually raise money for other people's multifamily. They are all doing different things than me in my business. So yes, they all become ultra successful in their respective lane.
And is market for everyone? It's a lot of market. I mean, is like enough properties to buy that enough people in the world to buy? I mean, the market, you analyze the market?
There's an overwhelming amount of Camilo, where do you live?
Yes, sir. I live in Jupiter.
Jupiter is an amazing place. Okay. I would imagine Jupiter is probably not a great place to do like a lot of fix and flips in Jupiter, but there's a lot of development, a lot of commercial opportunities in Jupiter. It's just such a nice area, right? Tiger freaking Woods lives there, bro.
Yeah, I just live here, but I invest in other places because here is so expensive. But you know, I have a mobile home and an RV in Hope Sound. It's a small town, really close to from Jupiter, and it's good for rent, for example, because I bought it for 200,000, and I rented for 3,000. I mean, 1,000 the RV and 2,000 the mobile home. And I'm trying to find properties like this, but it's not easy. So another question that I have
it's really easy. Okay. Watch this. Let me show you guys something. Everybody look at this. Let me show you guys this oversaturated mindset you guys have is a poor man's mindset. I can tell you, Camilo, you probably spent a lot of time by yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. How can I tell? So let's look at my calendar. Okay. So these are all the Zooms that my students do on a weekly basis. Okay. These are all different Zooms. So on an average day, my students, okay, have available training every day. Now, who cares about the training? But where I want to be is stuff like this. So for example, right here, every Thursday morning, one of my students, he made $61,000 last month, and he's just newer, like he's been doing it for a couple of months. He's calling expired listings every Thursday live, just inside of Subto. Every one of those Zooms is a live Zoom where you can go in and collaborate with other people on a specific topic, because there's so many ways to win. So we have so many different topics. You got to pick and choose what you want to do. Will there always be which Zoom? These are private Zooms for my students, just FYI. Those are private. That's my private Zoom schedule for the people that are asking. Okay. The Gators have their own schedule as well. Okay. Katya, are you telling me that you are not paying attention to the Zoom calendar? Okay, everybody that is a student that's maybe new in the last week, guys, go get the Subto calendar and you'll be able to go into all of these Zooms every week. And you can pick and choose what you want. Do you want to do expired listings? Do you want to do cold calling to sellers? Do you want to do outreach to agents? Do you want to do low lead generation with PropStream with Kevin? We have so many places for you to plug in. So let me just talk about the one Zoom, Camilo. Okay, just the one Zoom. Okay, the one Zoom on Thursday morning with Andrew McGuire goes over a lead generation strategy that has been around for 50 years and will be around for another 200, 300 years. It's not going away. It's what I call the rooster strategy. What's a rooster, Camilo? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, what do roosters do every morning? They crow. Okay, yes, we do have Spanish-speaking groups. Yes, we have Spanish-speaking groups and Asian groups, just FYI, for all of you guys. So we have Latinos, we have the Latinos Zoom, okay? And every day, about 10,000 real estate agents get fired across the country every day. So that means 10,000 got fired yesterday, 10,000 got fired the day before, and those opportunities that pop up every day, there's 20,000 new opportunities that popped up through expired listings. Okay. 20,000. That means next week, Camilo, 100,000 50,000 opportunities will pop up next week. 50,000. Those opportunities are not sellers that weren't trying to sell. Those are sellers who tried to sell for half of a year and could not. Do you know what percentage of those are land deals? About 6%. No. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have about 3,000 land deals that fail being sold on the market every single week. That's 12,000 a month. That's 150,000 a year. Do you think that we are oversaturated at all?
No.
We are not oversaturated.
Yeah.
You simply, Camilo, are working like a lone wolf. You have no person you're collaborating with. You're not creating friendships. You're not getting outside information, and you're not doing deals with people that are also doing deals all over the country to collaborate with and share ideas. That is what you're missing.
Yeah, my friends, they all have jobs and they work all day, and I came here as an investor. I have an investor visa, so for me. Yeah, I don't know people. I just
so you're hanging out with people. What do you think is happening to your mind every single day? You're talking to, hanging out with, and by the way, has anybody ever made a new friend that makes you feel like you're not doing enough? I make a lot of friends purposely.
Yeah.
Okay, people want a guarantee not to fail. Jerry Walker says.
I go to a bar and I sit myself and I speak with old people that live here because it's a special time for old people, and they want to invest. They really want, because it's a low wilderness here, man. It's a lot of people rich living here around this place, and
go raise money. I love
Yeah.
it. Go,
Okay.
go raise money from them. Get involved with people that are doing deals. I think that's one of the best things for you. Jerry, you said people want a guaranteed way not to fail. Do you want me to tell you a guaranteed way not to fail?
Yes,
Fail every day is the guaranteed way to not fail.
exactly. I had to change my mindset.
And here's the thing that's interesting too, is the funniest thing about fear is that people are afraid of failure. Therefore, they will waste their life every day, which is the greatest form of failure of all time. So they are failing at the highest level because they refuse to just put in the work. Right?
Can I tell you a story?
Sure.
It'll take 2 seconds. I joined your community in June of last year. It wasn't until the last weeks of October that I had to change my W-2 mentality in order to succeed, because I had all the excuses not to succeed, but I never made the excuse that my family, I'm about to get thrown out by my wife because she thinks I'm a loafer. You hear me? So
Yeah.
that I had to make up my mind to succeed.
Yeah. Hey, Alvaro, thank you so much for like all the stuff, guys. We don't need to be like blasting the side chat today. Please, just don't do that. Okay. Alvaro, I've seen you post that like 18 times, please. So yeah, Jerry, I get that. I get that 100%. One thing I can tell you is I see people that inspire me, and those are the people I just want to be around because I know that's the recipe for success, right? And so what happens, it's like, let's imagine, right? Let's, as men, okay, for a second. Ian Leonard, I'll answer your question in a second, okay? As men, think about this. Married men specifically. Your wife right now makes a video right now today, and she says, the things that my husband's accomplished, the things my husband has supplied, the things that my husband fulfilled on his promises that he made. She makes this video to you about you. It's a 10-minute video. Think about how long 10 minutes actually is. She makes a 10-minute video about you. She takes that video and she goes back in a time machine and she shows that to you the day you guys got married. Would you say, wow, I have done what I promised my wife who gave her life over to me? I have accomplished what I set out to do? Or would you say I gave up?
No, I'd say I gave up. I let her down. I let her down.
Yeah, I think a lot of men in here would say the same thing. In a lot of ways, I know it sounds like, oh, Pace has got the perfect life. No, there's things I could have done better. And instead of me, bitching and moaning about stuff, like I've always been monogamous. I'm a monogamous dude. I've never cheated. I don't drink. I don't party. I don't gamble. I don't have a video game addiction. I don't have any of those like obvious things that most men kind of deal with.
Right.
My issue is that I work too much because I really want to prove I got different issues than other people. I work too much because I want to support and I want to do that what the man was supposed to do for like so much harder than I think most people. And so there's been times where I've missed baseball games. There's been times where I've missed dance. There's been times where I've missed whatever. But also, guess what happens? When I go to the hospital and my baby above and beyond my insurance costs me $15,000 above what my insurance is willing to cover, I just go, here's the $15,000. And so then I remind myself, no, I have done what I promised to do, but I realized through the process it was way harder than I thought it was going to be. And so of course I had some trip ups and some whatevers and da 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 da. But most people, I think most men, when I talk to them, if they made a video, if their wife made a video and showed it to them as they're about to take that woman's hand in marriage, that man would say, wow,
yeah,
I gave up. Wow, I gave up. Now, here's the better question. If your wife took that video and showed it to herself 10 years, or, on the day of your wedding, as she's, bridesmaids are flying into town, wedding's about to happen, she showed herself that video, would she show up to marry you the next day?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I see all these people, okay? I see all these people go, I'm afraid of failure. It's like, you already have failed. Like, what are we talking about here?
Exactly.
Like you've already failed. And I think for me, one of the biggest like life change mindset things that happened for me is when I had a brother that killed himself when I was 25 years old. So about 15, 16 years ago, hung himself. I was the only person that could identify the body. I had a knock on my door. I got a knock on my door at like 2:00 in the morning. It's two police officers. And the police officer says, "You're Pace Morby?" I go, "Yes, I'm Pace." And I go, "Did I, speed through a traffic thing? What did I do? Like, why would you be here at 2:00 in the morning?" And they said, "It's your brother." Okay. So I break down. I'm crying. They basically guide me over to where I couldn't visit this property for over 16 years. I just went back and visited this property 30 days ago up in Utah. And what ended up happening, my brother took his own life for other reasons we don't need to go into. Right. So that's another long story. But what I did is I said, look, a lot of times we'll have survivor's guilt. Like I had survivor's guilt for about a year. And then finally somebody I was talking to said, well, make sure that your brother who's watching you every day is proud of you every single day and saying he is not here, but you're making him proud every day that you're the one that survived and you're doing something with it. And so one thing I did is I said, this is before Laura and I even met. I said, I'm going to name my firstborn child Corbin, which is my brother's name. A lot of people don't know my daughter Corbin is named after my brother who killed himself. I did that to honor my brother. And I did, my daughter is a constant reminder to me that I'm the one that survived. And how dare I waste a single minute of my life while there's other people that passed away, even accidentally people passed away. And here we are going, I'm afraid of failure. What do you think your loved ones are saying to you? Yelling as loud as they possibly can to you from heaven. Think about it. Your mom, your dad, cousins, friends, whoever it is that died is watching you today. And your answer to them is, I'm afraid of failure.
Yeah.
And they're saying, afraid of failure. Give me your body. Let me be in your situation. I now know what life is worth. I'm now over here and you're down there wasting it. Let me take your freaking spot. I'll take your life.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's the other thing about it. Okay. Here's the crazy thing about it. If somebody right now, here's how I try and think about things. If somebody better than you, whoever that person is, somebody better than you, jumped into your body, into your circumstances, into your marriage, into your health situation, your job, they're in that thing right now. Somebody else with a different mind jumps into your body, your situation, the shoes you wear, the pants you wear, all the food you ate this morning, they jump into your exact situation right now. What would they do different with their life right now?
Make better decisions than I did.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's seeing the eyes of a loved one, of my significant other, my wife, and they're saying to you, like, what are you doing? Why are you not trying?
Yeah.
That cut me to the core. That was like, wow.
I'll tell you one of the biggest failures that men commit is that they forget that they are wolves and they are meant to run in a pack of wolves. And when I say men, I'm not just talking about men. I'm talking about women as well. And what happens is it's like, you're a lone wolf. I'm failing. I'm having a hard time finding food to eat. I can't support my family. Yeah, because you forgot you're a pack animal. You need to be around other wolves that are ravenous and motivating you and doing the things and showing you the way. And you're sitting over there by yourself taking notes on my Zoom. Get your ass out of my Zoom and go collaborate with other human beings that are one step ahead of you.
Right.
That is the biggest difference that will change your life, the biggest difference. And so for me, yeah, again, I will join a mentorship and I will join and buy a course. I buy courses for my team members all the time where we're having a problem in a thing. I'm like, let's buy a course. Somebody has a course about it. Let's buy the course and we'll solve the problem. We'll get the education. Other times I'll join a mastermind where I can go meet people at a high level, but then that mastermind charges me more money the next year. I still pay for all of these things. But the thing I can tell you that most people are lacking is community and connection to those people that are doing the thing that you want to do. 1, to help motivate you. 2, to help guide you. And 3, to remind you, hey, this is where you're supposed to be. Stop going back to that, easy decision-making. I call it the Grand Canyon. You look at the Grand Canyon. Why did the Grand Canyon have so many spirals and so many tributaries and all these things? Why is, if you look at the Grand Canyon from a high up altitude, you see all the tributaries and all the things and the winding. Why did the river, right, the Colorado River, why did the river create such a divergent thing like a snake and go through all this stuff? Is because the water follows the path of least resistance. And what does that mean? It means that people will work way harder to avoid hard work than they will by just doing the hard work. So the water, instead of just going, I'm going straight line, I want to go to the ocean, I'm going to go straight line. Oh, well, I'm going to run into a rock. Okay, I'll go around it. I'll do this. I'll go, even sometimes you look at the Grand Canyon, it goes backwards. There's times where the water flows back up against the path it's supposed to be going. Like it winds around, it goes the other way. Look at Horseshoe Bend. Okay. Horseshoe, Google this right now. Look at Horseshoe Bend. How is it possible that Horseshoe Bend, right? This comes out, this is where the Grand Canyon starts, basically. Horseshoe Bend, people are like, Horseshoe Bend is magical. I've been there multiple times. You know what I think when I go to Horseshoe Bend? I'm like, that water was a bitch. You want to know why? Look at it. Look how much more work it went through, how much longer it went through to create that path of least resistance when it could have just cut through. That water is nothing but a bitch. And so when you look at all of our lives, and in fact, me, I will go the long way to avoid the work instead of just going, no, I know that making 10 offers a day and being around other people making 10 offers a day is the thing that's going to get me there faster. What then people do, now you got a whole nother psychological mess, that you got in your mind, which is, I'm not worthy of it. I'm not worthy of success. And so I'm going to avoid success. That was actually one of my biggest problems, is the 5 fears, right? What are the 5 fears? Fear is an acronym. People go, oh, it's false evidence appearing real. No, these things are real. Okay. They are real. We create them in their mind. They might as well be real. There's an acronym: fear of failure. That's people, you have to overcome fear of failure. Fear of embarrassment. Oh my gosh, what are people going to think of me? Fear of abandonment. Oh my gosh, if I change or something alters, somebody's going to leave me. Oh my gosh, I don't want my kids to think, I don't want my wife to leave me, and da. Fear of rejection. So now when you go into a new group of people, what if they don't like me? Okay. So FEARS, right? Fears. What's the last one? Fear of success.
Wow.
Fear of success is actually the biggest fear that I've had to overcome. Fear of failure, F. Fear of embarrassment. I'm afraid of what people think. Fear of abandonment. What if I do change and somebody doesn't like it? Oh my gosh. Fear of rejection. Somebody's not going to like me. I'm going to join a community and they're not going to like me. What if they don't like me? And then fear of success. You know what? I'm so afraid of that even if I do overcome those 4 things, then I don't know what it looks like. People are so used to going home to the smell of their own house, the smell of their own car, the smell of their clothes, the laundry detergent they use. Guys, go into your freaking life and throw away your laundry detergent, throw away the food you're eating, and go, I'm going to live different today. I'm even going to live different to the way what soap I use to wash my body with. I'm going to change it all up.
Right.
Everybody gets so used to just going, this is who I am. This is my identity. So now when your identity is going to change and you're going to become successful, I deal with this all the time. I'm having a conversation with Dean Graziosi. I'm having a conversation with Tony Robbins. Okay. And I go, I'm in a private setting. There's 6 of us. It's Russell Brunson, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Jim Quick, and a couple of other really high level people. We're hanging out for 4 days together, really small room, 8 people. Okay.
Right.
And I said, I asked a question to Dean, and my question was, do you ever feel like you're just going to lose it all? And Dean goes, yeah, every day. Every day I feel like that.
Wow.
And I go, well, how do you overcome it? And then Tony answers, he goes, you don't. Every day your mind is going to play these tricks on you. So if you know that it's going to play the trick on you tomorrow, then just go, hey, well, that's nice. That's a nice thought. And then you just keep moving on, because the amount of time and energy you put into that versus the time and energy you just put into the other thing. If we already know that that's the recipe, we already know our mind is going to play tricks on us. Then why not just acknowledge it and go, oh, hey, mind, I knew you're going to play that trick on me. Thank you so much. Boom. And you go the other direction.
I swear you and I are like right here face to face, and you're just talking to me like a dude. And I really appreciate that.
Hey, dude, it's the same thing with me. I wish somebody talked to me this way. And I think a lot of us took advice from our parents way too long. It's even some of you knuckleheads in here are still taking advice from your parents who don't have the marriage you want. They don't have the money you want. Some people, I tell you, one of the worst people, I'm so sorry. I am also religious. I do believe in a higher power, but I can tell you guys that your belief in your God has crippled your ability to do what God expects you to do.
Amen. I like that, bro. You're a straight talker. I like that.
Okay. You got these horrible people at your church that aren't doing anything with their lives. Most of their marriages are not what God intended marriages to be. And you guys are afraid of what your churchgoers, your fellow churchgoers are going to think of you if you go buy a nicer car or get a bigger house. You might not know that consciously, but subconsciously you have a fear of success because what would happen with the people at my church? What would they think of me? Like they think I'm a gloater and I'm a this and I'm a that. Guys, oh my gosh. It's like I can't hang out with religious people. It's like when people start bringing up God, I'm like, oh, I can't hang out with you. Okay. What is it? What's the saying? Faith without works is what?
Dead.
Dead.
And
we already know this stuff.
Yeah,
okay? We already know this stuff. So what's funny is was Jesus a lone wolf, guys?
No, he wasn't.
He had the 12 apostles.
Yes, he did.
He had his squad of wolves, my friend. So who are your 12? Who's your 12 squad? Who's your squad? Your goal? Who are your people you're spending your time with?
I'm gonna start spending them with my Gator squad.
This is why we do physical meetups, because we're trying to get you guys to get out there. And this is why I go to so many of them, because I know even for me, if I go, the toughest time I've had in my business, you don't want to know when it was? Last 2 months. Do you know why?
Because we haven't had that connection.
Because I haven't been traveling and meeting my people. I had a baby, so I don't want to get sick and then come back and bring sickness into my house. So I've been on house arrest essentially.
Right.
And so the toughest mindset issues I've had are the last 45 days since our baby was born.
Yes, sir. I hear you.
Even the guy who you guys think has all the answers, I need to get around my people. I need to spend time with my people. I need to see other people are having the same problems and how they're overcoming. I aggregate my motivation from other people.
I like that.
Okay. So you got, that's the biggest thing. You want to overcome all of that, get around the people that are doing one step ahead of you. And one step ahead of you is not necessarily, okay, and I'll say this one last thing for some of you men in here that are afraid of your wife or women that are afraid of your husband. Okay. Nobody owns you. Nobody owns you. And so again, why are they giving you resistance to changing is because you're killing the version of yourself that in their mind, they have this identity of you. They even have an identity of you too. So it's like my wife will change her clothes. I'm like, oh, good. I got a new version of you today. New style, and new music she's listening to. She'll make something different for dinner. I want to drive a different car, right? A lot of you women are like, no, I want to make sure my husband is happy with me and da 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 da. Cool. Do you not think that your husband deserves a new version of you next year?
Yes.
Tell that to your husband. Tell that to your husband. Tell your husband, hey, I think you deserve a new version of me next year. And so this year, I'm going to spend a lot of my time learning, collaborating with other people that have information and stories that I've never heard before. I want to become a different person for you. You deserve that. And that is what is true. A lot of you women are like, oh, I'm afraid of what my husband's going to say. And he says, don't go to this thing and don't go to that thing. And what do you got to do all this real estate for? And just say, I'm doing it for you. You deserve a better version of me. You deserve a happier version of me, a more creative version of me, a more free version of me.
Yep.
Okay. So anyway, mindset.
Yes, sir.
All that stuff.
Thank you.
Okay. No problem. Great insert there, guys. Let me do, I think we got a couple more questions here. Let's go. Oh, Samin, my favorite overthinker. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good.
First of all, I just want to thank you for being a therapist and psychologist to all of us. I think we all needed that. And I'm here crying my eyes out. I just have a question that is kind of long, so I'm going to get to it. I really don't know what is my avatar. I listened to your YouTube video about avatars. I really don't know what it is. Maybe because I'm an overthinker, or maybe I'm a control freak.
We can't say maybe, because like even that
Okay.
is the sign of an overthinker. It's like, I can't even admit that I'm overthinking because maybe I'm not overthinking. Let me think about that for a minute. Obviously, you're overthinking.
But I'm a control freak. I know I'm a control freak, and I have to have control and my hands in every single thing. And that is horrible. I know it's terrible, and I'm trying to get better at it.
I don't think it's horrible. I think that having control is a good thing. I think that you need somebody else in your business at some point that can be the polar opposite of you. Somebody like a Molly on my team, or a Jade on my team, or other business partners of mine, they are control freaks. I'm not a control freak. I'm a action implementation control freak. So even for you, Samin, just so you know, every personality has its tremendous value. And I think somebody who likes to control things actually has a fit in somebody's organization.
Okay. So that gets me to my next topic. My husband, I told him that he was miserable in 2022 at his job of 15 years. And I told him, quit, get to this real estate thing. We just heard about wholesaling, didn't know anything of you. And I just supported him. He went door knocking for 3 months. Out of absolute dumb luck, we were able to lock in a contract and wholesale it. So I don't know if we were ready for it or not, but out of the proceeds of that wholesale, we found your Facebook group, and I bought my first Subto, our first Subto.
Good job.
In Wisconsin. Where are we located in? Thank you. In Dallas. So a little bit, and we poured all the proceeds that we got from that wholesale for the entry fee and fixing that place up to be rentable to a new tenant. And now, so about 2 months ago, so that was the only wholesale we did. We did not have any other chances. Granted, we did not put as much focus on it as possible because my husband went back to his W-2 job, unfortunately, because of that concept of fear that, oh my God, I'm doing something very uncomfortable. What if I fail? What if blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
We won a property in an auction, which was paid off in Texas. And then now we are getting our duplex, which I think I told you about it. I don't know if I'm doing everything backwards. Again, my overthinker side. I should either focus on, I don't know what to focus on. Either get my Subto, either get my duplex to rent it out, or I don't know, start wholesaling. So that's what I mean, what I don't know, when I don't know what is my avatar.
Oh, okay. So there's a couple of things here. Okay. So I wrote down the first failure you made.
Okay.
Okay. The first failure you made is not starting earlier.
Okay.
Okay.
True.
And learning these lessons and what it feels like this dumb luck thing. It wasn't dumb luck. Literally, you want to know who the best door knocker I ever had was?
Who?
It was a guy who was on the severe side of the spectrum. He had autism.
Okay.
And he was my best door knocker.
Wow.
Why? Couldn't even drive. His mom had to drop him off in the neighborhood, and he would sit there and knock. Do you know why? He was
because he did not overthink. Yeah.
He didn't have the physical capability of overthinking.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was your first failure. Okay. So when people are like, I'm afraid of failure, guys, you currently are failing. What are you talking about? You currently are failing. Why not just choose which failures you have that are going to actually bring you positive results? You are failing. Okay. So the difference is like, okay, I don't want to get into a whole nother philosophical thing. Okay. So your first failure was that. Your second failure was, why did you have to be the one that brought the money to that Subto deal? If my Subto community was selling you a deal, why couldn't you have found a Gator or a Subto student to come and partner with you on that deal and say, hey guys, I've got the deal under contract. Who wants to partner with me on this? Who has the capital to do the deal? So now you don't have to sink up all your door knocking proceeds into the deal.
Why did you have to go that way? because I didn't know anything about Gator.
There you
So
go.
at that point, yeah, I should have started earlier. Back to your first point.
But
Yeah.
here's the cool thing is you now have the confidence in knowing like, oh, I know how to put a deal together. I know how to buy a deal from somebody else. I know how to go to Pace's
Yeah.
students and just buy a deal from them. So I don't have to go and like know everything. And I don't have to also have the money. You could have easily, how many people right now, if somebody brought you a Subto deal that, and it needed $20,000 to buy the deal and $10,000 to renovate it, how many people would be a 50-50 partner with Samin and bring in the 30 grand?
Wow.
Okay. You see that right there?
Yep.
And the majority of those people, actually, I would say almost every one of those people are my community members that have capital.
Wow.
They know how to structure the deal. You're sitting there going, I had to bring all the money to the table. I'll give you a quick little story. Okay. I have a student. Her name is Elena Tang. She's a licensed therapist. And she comes into the Subto community about 2.5 years ago, and I do a one-on-one with her. I used to do this all the time with my students. I'd do all these one-on-ones, and I would find leaders that wanted to help lead the community, and I would really build people up, and I would find these people through doing all these one-on-ones. Well, Elena, she ended up doing a mindset Zoom for over 2 years inside of Subto, but here's what she did. She comes in and she's like, well, what should we focus on? I go, do you like your job? She goes, I love my job. I go, Kirk, her husband, I go, do you love your job? Yes, I love my job too. I go, then why would you wholesale? And why would you fix and flip? Why not just go buy rentals? Oh, well, we don't have a lot of cash. I go, why not buy deals from Subto students and then bring in the other Subto students that have the cash and either A, have them have, now this is before I launched Gator, and now we have Gators that bring cash to the deals. She went out and without talking to a single seller, without using a single dollar of her own, she now has 26 rentals in her portfolio, totaling a little over like $5 million in real estate. She didn't have to quit her job.
Yeah.
She didn't have to go call a seller. She didn't have to negotiate. She didn't have to go knock doors. That's not her personality type, right? There are other people out there like, I want to knock doors. I want to do the cold calling. That wasn't her. And so she just acquired 26 rentals. She got to a point where she's like, I'm like, this is great. I got other people's money in here. I've got these deals. They're stabilized. I'm going to wait a couple of years for them to appreciate. I'll either refinance and pull the money out, or I'll sell them in a couple of years and start over. But now I've got a couple $1 million in cash in my own pocket. So there's a formula for everybody. And I would tell you the hardest part about real estate, Samin, is that there are too many ways to succeed. Okay. There's too many ways. There's people like, oh, it's so hard. No, it's not. You are having a hard time understanding yourself. That's truly the hardest part, is understanding what do you want to do and what gives you passion. Because on one side, I'm sitting here saying, take action, do everything, blah, 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 blah. But really, if I could fix one thing first, here's what I would do. I would make sure you have friends in the business. This is why I built a community. I'd make sure you have friends in the business. The second thing I would have you do is I would fix your understanding of yourself. I would make sure you take a Clifton Strengths test. I would make sure you understand who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. Then I would tell you, how do you leverage the friends you have in the community to get the thing that you want and create a desired outcome for yourself? Some people, like, we'll get new people that come into our community, go, I actually do want to be a wholesaler. That's something I'm motivated to do. So what they do is they join somebody else's wholesale business for 6 months and they learn the ropes. And that's part of having a community. For you, I don't think that's you. I think what you want is your husband has a job. If you have a mindset of, I'm afraid of not having a job, great. Keep it. Keep the job.
No, I'm actually pushing my husband.
I'm not saying like for the rest of your life. I'm just saying for a couple of years, 18 months, whatever, and go, in order for my husband to quit his job, how much cash flow do we have to have in the bank? And you reverse engineer that. And you go, okay, I have to have, if the average house, single family home, regular rental, cash flows $500 a month in cash, that means I need to get 10 rentals before my husband can go quit his job.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. I don't know what that number is. Then you have a safety net. Then your husband can quit his job, right? So what I would do for you is, it doesn't sound like you really want to wholesale. It doesn't sound like you really want to fix and flip. It sounds like you're like, no, I want to have a little bit more peace of mind. If you want more peace of mind, then go the long route, which is
create wealth.
Get a rental portfolio.
Yeah.
Narmina says, is it possible to get Elena's contacts? As if like those are the only contacts in my community. Again, you're looking for the path of least resistance when you do stuff like that. People will email me and they go, Pace, can you please put me in contact with Uncle Lonza? It's like, no, go into my free Facebook group. and say, hey, who's Pace's student in this area? Do the damn work. I'm not your personal secretary. I built the thing. I put the hard work in. You go do the work off the work that I create. I did this. I sacrificed years and years of my life. I created the easy button. Don't ask me to push the easy button too. Hey, Pace, thanks for creating the easy button. Can you please push that for me? That's what you're asking me to do. Okay. You're avoiding what's so funny is people are like, no, I just want to go straight to the source and rob yourself of all the relationships and conversations you get to have with all these amazing people. Just get me right to the source. What about all the people you'll meet along the way that might not be the perfect fit for the thing that you want? But then here's the beautiful thing about this. Okay. Think about this. If I go meet 100 people in Pace's community, right? Let's say I'm a community member. I go meet 100 people. I go meet 100 people. 80 of them are never going to bring a deal to me. 80 of them are never going to bring a deal to me. Why? Because they work in a different part of the country. They do different type of deals that I want to do. But I'm going to get to know them. And then as I get to know other people, guess what I get to do? I go, oh, dude, you have the thing that person number 31 needs. Do you mind if I connect you guys and I make a little bit of money connecting you guys? You're robbing yourself of one of the greatest things of all time, which is knowing enough people to be able to connect people to each other, because you just want to go to the one thing that helps you only. You're a thief of your own joy. The greatest thing on planet Earth is there's the greatest income source is emotional income. The fact that you can help other people. So why would you rob yourself of that joy? Give me directly to the person that's going to solve my problem today. Come on. So Samin.
Yes.
Go buy rentals, buy the deals from my sub-2 students, have my Gators or sub-2 students fund those deals. Now you'll find a lot of sub-2 students are also Gators. They go out and get the funding and all that kind of stuff. Go get the funding and say, I want to be 50% partner. I'm going to put this together. I'm going to put the puzzle pieces together and go and do that. You don't need that many. You need like 5 to 7 or 8. It could be 18 months. You're done.
Okay. And then we can structure the Gator profit the way that it's going to benefit them and us, right? Like it's not going to be.
They know how to structure it. Just rely on them. They've been trained on how to structure
it. Okay. Okay, that sounds good. So I haven't done any missteps yet, which I'm sad because I would have learned more from it, but I'm glad at least I have a little bit of a right mindset. So
let me ask you a question, Samin. Would you rather say, I now know what I could have done better, or would you rather say, man, I really need to get started?
Yeah, I said, the first one. No, yeah, especially with this market right now.
You'll never be out of problems. So just be the person that upgrades their problems all the time. Just change your problems. And you've done a good job of that. You've succeeded in your failure. And that's the whole entire point. Oh, I know things now. I have more confidence. I know better questions to ask. Yes, I'm going to continue to overthink because that's a superpower of mine. I'm not going to get rid of that. I'm just going to say, how do I put that in the right positions?
Okay.
You have a superpower. You're the only overthinking you have. Gwendolyn says, oh, a dumb question. 50% partner would mean you own the rental with them. Yeah, depending on if you structure it that way. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Samin.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Keep asking those questions. They're great questions. Okay. Is there a meetup next Thursday in Arizona? Yes, Diana, there will be. Just stay tuned to whereispace.com. Ian, last question I'll answer today. What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for answering my question. I appreciate it.
Of course. What do you got for me?
I had 2 quick questions about the Elephant Challenge directly. One was, I'll lead into the next. When we're doing the comping or the calculations in order to then call realtors, what, if I can summarize, and then it'll bring out my question, is we're looking for the ARV. We're putting in the ARV and then adding, filling in the calculation sheet in order to find out how to make a profit at the bottom. But are we doing that to be a fix and flipper? Or I know we said that the goal was to make 20 grand in wholesaling. So if we're, what profit should be at the bottom of the sheet for the fix and flipper to then add on the 20K profit for the wholesaler?
Ian, do you want to be a fix and flipper?
Well, I'm in San Diego, so I would do a wholesaler or a fix and flipper with long-term goals of buy and hold.
Okay, so have you joined somebody's team yet?
From the challenge, no.
Okay, every question you're going to have is going to be dependent on the person who's leading the team. And why is that? Because Angie and Don Milanazzo have a different structure of like how they do deals and what they do, and they're going to tell you completely different answers than I'm going to tell you. Same thing with Don Walker. Now, what's funny, you're like, aren't these your students? Yeah, they are my students and they are in my community, but they all have their own unique business models, right? That's the beautiful thing about real estate is once you figure out how to find deals and structure them and talk to sellers and make money, you can kind of figure out what market you want to be in, what kind of asset class and all those types of things. You can figure that out and it gets very, very, very diverse. So you need to get on a team, Ian. You need to stop trying to do this on your own. Get on a team. What's going to happen is every offer for your first 30 or 40 offers, you're going to have a question. Get on a team.
I thought the homework was to call an agent and then send the lead to the team.
Did you hear me talk about the importance of being on a team with wolves for the last 3 hours?
Yeah.
Did you also hear me talk about the importance of being on a team yesterday?
Yeah, no, I'm all for joining a team. I mean, I'm definitely gonna do that. But I thought I was supposed to call my 10 prospective properties first.
You're supposed to call your 10 prospective this is what we talked about at the very beginning of yesterday. I said, guys, you're going to get on a team today. What you're going to be doing is making sure that before you go and submit these offers, your team members, the person who's leading your team, you're communicating with them of like, what kind of deals are we looking for? What do you want to do? Your first couple of deals, Ian, you should probably be doing wholesale. San Diego fix and flip. If I'm doing a fix and flip, I kind of want it when I'm brand new. I kind of want it to be in my backyard. If I were you, I'd do some fix and flip. I'm sorry. If I were you, I would do some wholesale and I would make sure that my elephant challenge leader, whatever team you end up getting on, is telling you what areas and all of those kind of things that you should focus on to have the highest likelihood of success. You'll get some forward momentum, right? And the higher you climb up that mountain, and you turn around, the vantage point and the viewpoint that you're at looks different. The view changes, right? So you're all the way down at the mountain. You should already be 50 feet up the mountain right now looking differently because now you're already on a team and you have somebody to ask, right? You're still at the bottom of the mountain. Everybody else is already 50 feet up the mountain, joining teams and getting collaborative with each other. And you're still asking questions that were, they're good questions, but they're no longer important unless you have a team.
Thank you. And
Get on the team.
Disregards my
stop. You just heard
questions.
me bitch and moan for 3 hours about the importance of having a team and being around other people. Don't just, I'll get to that. Do it now before you do anything else.
Okay, will do. Thank you, Pace.
Okay, thank you. All right, guys. Elephant Challenge. The next Elephant Challenge is going to be February 14th. So Valentine's Day, where I'll be back February 14th, 15th, and 16th. And we're going to upgrade the challenge just a little bit, upgrade the training just a little bit. And it will evolve over time. So make sure that you guys come back, you invite other people. Do me a favor, go into the free Facebook group and just say, here's the 5 things I learned from the Elephant Challenge. Make sure you guys help me invite more people from the free Facebook group to come in here. As you can see, I didn't pitch. I didn't try and sell you on anything. I didn't try and give you some sort of offer. I didn't say, hey, this is your final time. Didn't do any of that crap. Okay. I want you guys to go and help some of the other free Facebook group members to come in here. Next month, our goal should be, we should have 3,000, maybe 4,000 people in here. Okay. Go into the free Facebook group and say, hey, I'm a baby elephant. I learned these things, this Elephant Challenge. Join us on February 14th, 15th, 16th, and then 17th as well. Let my team know how much you appreciate them. They've stayed late nights. They've worked weekend mornings. They've done everything they possibly can to bring a lot of value to you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Don Walker, Angie, all of your guys' teams. There's about 10 people and all the leaders in the Elephant Challenge. What happens is I get DMs and I get messages from people that are the baby elephants in here thanking me for bringing these leaders to the table. And they say, Pace, I got my first deal as a baby elephant because one of your students helped me out. So make sure you give them an attitude of gratitude. Make sure you let them know how much you appreciate them. And if you still have not got your Squadup Summit ticket, please go get your Squadup Summit ticket. The prices go up, I believe, on February 15th. Okay. So in about 2.5 weeks, prices are going to go up on Squadup Summit. And the room block for the hotel actually, I think, stops in like another 10 days from now. Okay. So make sure you get the Squadup Summit tickets. Congratulations again to the 7 people that are going to come spend a day with me. They get to pick whether they want to be in Arizona, Montana, one of those places. Really looking forward to spending the day with them. And oh, Carly says the room block is almost sold out. Ooh. Oh no, I talked to the team yesterday, just so you know. The team is going to open up more rooms, just FYI. The team is going to open up more rooms so you guys will be able to get hotel spaces for the next like 10 days or so. I can't wait to meet a lot of you guys at the Squadup Summit as well. Jamil will be there. Grant Cardone texted me 2 days ago, said he's going to be there. Cody Sanchez texted me a couple of days ago. She's going to be there. So we've already got a great lineup of speakers, but the reality is I want less speakers and more audience participation, less sitting in your seat and learning, more standing on your feet and earning and being around other people. So squatupsummit.com, and we'll see you guys. If I don't see you, I'll see you on Monday nights for Get Creative Live on my YouTube channel for just Q&A about creative finance. And then I'll see you guys back here for the Elephant Challenge. Help me out. Do me a favor. If you guys got value over the last couple of days, do me a favor. Take 5 things that you learned over the last 5 days or a couple of days. Thank the team and type out those 5 things in the free Facebook group and say, Elephant Challenge taught me this. Thank you, Carly. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Dom. Thank you, Mike. Thank everybody that came in and helped me out. And we'll see you guys back here for Elephant Challenge number 2 of the year, which is February 14th. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you.